are here.
Yeah, welcome in. Welcome back to another episode of the Format Podcast Live, Saturday night edition. Why you always got some wild hat on, man?
Don't hate, man.
First of all, got some wild hat on, man.
I gotta show support, man. I'm a Navy midshipman, put a beating on the Air Force today, 34-7. Okay. So, they undefeated 5-0. So I gotta represent, man.
Okay, I respect that. Army's 5-0 too. So, number one in the conference. So
yeah, too bad you don't put on.
I don't what?
You know what I'm saying? You don't
listen. I'm good for them as long as they're not playing the Irish. You know what I'm saying? They play Notre Dame, then that is what that is, man.
Yeah, I mean, I hope the Army smack Notre Dame, boy.
No, that's not gonna happen, man.
That'll be great. I want to see your face.
Going to happen.
Everything's gonna change for you, B. You're like, man, no, man, it's Army, go Army. Hydrate.
Drink water. Oh man! All right, for those of y'all just checking in, actually nobody's checking in right now, so we're just gonna chill for a few minutes and we're gonna kick it till we get a little more traffic in the chat. But what's good, fellas? What's happening?
G, what's good?
Cooling, man. Just maintaining.
Bick and back and being bull.
So it look like
he ain't got the stunners on today.
I ain't hear you. Oh yeah, he tried Shannon Sharp me and shit.
Hey, nobody try Shannon
Sharp. What's good,
man.
Sneed?
He wrote an corporate out for me.
Hey, we gotta let the people know, man. This is a serious podcast to be taken seriously.
Hey, said he went back to his locker and he saw that letter on the table on his locker.
He got a report to the front office.
Got that fine real quick.
Man, what's up, Sneed? Salam, brother. How you doing, man? Good to see you. Always good to see you in here. We're just gonna take a few minutes here and see if we get a little bit of traffic in, and then we go ahead and start going, man. Got definitely have some interesting things to talk about. So, excuse me. Yeah, man. Freaking Saturday afternoon, man. It's been raining on and off all day, man. How's the weather up there in B-More, G?
Amazing.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's real nice.
You can say the same.
Yeah, right. We might have another storm coming through. I saw that come across my phone, so we'll see.
I heard it was.
Yeah, they said all of Florida on the target. The whole state of Florida is under the.
Yeah. That cone is big, man. I was like, what's going on here? I was like, damn. So we'll see what happens, man. I can deal with some. It is a fantastic discussion. I agree. Yeah, I can deal with some rain, but when it starts really getting crazy, I don't know. Nino, what's good, my brother? How you doing, man? Good to see you. Thank you for always being in here supporting us, man.
Nino, man, good thing we're not finna talk about who today, so I'm not even gonna bring it up.
It's gonna come up briefly though, because we gotta talk about the Lakers.
No. Keep him separated. He didn't play.
Why not?
He didn't play.
Of course he did.
Who cares?
LeBron James didn't play?
No.
LeBron James didn't play?
No, he didn't play.
He did. No, he didn't. He was on the sideline. That boy was in street clothes. What you talking about?
No, LeBron James
let me know you didn't watch the game.
No, LeBron James played.
Bronny played.
I'm messing. Is he not LeBron James? I'm messing.
No, okay. I'm about to say I know what.
I was waiting for you to catch on. I was like,
LeBron James played. No,
LeBron James played.
LeBron James Jr. played.
Yes,
LeBron
that is
James
correct.
Jr.
That is correct.
JR played.
I'm
like, Bruce can't be serious right now. Like, really?
Like, no, LeBron James.
You saw that whole game and you didn't see not one Bron highlight.
Nah, man.
You got me with that one. That was
I be dumbing out sometimes, man.
That was a good one.
I don't have a whole lot of sense, man.
That's that army medicine they be shooting in your veins at boot camp.
What that is, man. No,
man. All them shots they gave you.
Man, you got the same shots, man. We all got the same shots.
So let me ask you a question, because I never did ask this question to anybody in the Army. So did y'all did they make it the Hall of Shots for y'all too?
No.
Like when y'all walk through, like they made it look like it was a gauntlet. It was like a gauntlet when you go into boot camp, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you walk through, like you got your sleeves up, you roll your sleeves up, and it's
it wasn't.
Like
it
was crazy.
Like nah,
it was nuts. It was nuts.
No, we went and got our shots. The only thing that messed me up when we came out from getting the shots, we got back in formation, and you remember this G drill sergeant did a open ranks, or no, not open ranks. He did a half right face, and we like, what could we possibly have done that we were about to get smoked out here just for shot? But really, right? He just made us do the 10 push-ups just to, work the shot through your arm a little bit so it didn't like bubble up right under your skin.
Asshole.
I was really thinking, like, what could we possibly have done? You know what I'm saying? Not that they needed a reason, but
Hey, y'all got them shots halfway?
You already know.
Oh God. Dang it,
Good times.
I'll tell you, man. Hey, Navy ain't no better, bro. We got they do the peanut butter. I believe it's not penicillin. What is that? I forget what shot that's called, but they call it the peanut butter shot, right? And you get shot in the in the rear. I'm gonna say rear to keep it clean, right? And once you're done, like it's one of the worst shots that you guys could get, right? Like I'm talking, all you hear is
on the glute.
Like when these folks are taking it, pause. But I mean, everything's finna sound pause worthy. But anyway, after you're done, you know what I mean? You put your uniform back on, you put everything back up, and they make these folks go sit Indian style on the hard floor, G.
Damn.
On the hard floor. So mind you, I'm over here waiting my turn. I'm like, damn, I'm hearing these folks like like the women screaming, yada, yada. So me, lucky me, they was like, all right, Bass, woke up. They saw I had my red dog tags. I'm allergic to penicillin.
Okay.
It was like, all right, go over there to the counter. I'll go over to the counter, get these, they had me a subscription, and they tell me to go sit down. I'm like, wait, I ain't got to take the shot. So I'm like, all right, cool. Man, I watch everybody just like they're trying their hardest. Like,
yeah, no, we ain't get that.
Trying to sit down and lean on one side, man. Bro, it was torturous for him, bro. It was funny for me to watch. But man, yeah, bro. Crazy.
Oh man. All right, well, let's go ahead and get started, fellas. Let's go ahead and get started before we bore the people with all these wild military stories and whatnot. All the ones
man, we need to do a military show, man. Yeah, we need to have a military segment one day.
You already know it. You already know it, G. Oh man. All right, so we got some good topics for you all today. Obviously we got some good NFL games coming up tomorrow. Two main ones that we really want to get into a little bit is Pittsburgh and Dallas, as you can see in the thumbnail, and the Ravens and the Bengals. Those are huge. We got not the notification, but we were made aware that Derrick Rose is going to be retiring. He's after 16 years in the league. And so we're gonna talk about that. Most specifically, is he a Hall of Famer? So that should be interesting. And the third topic is a topic I've been trying to avoid it for a while because it's got so many tentacles, and really it's a rather exhausting topic, but it is a huge topic in the sports world. So it's something that I think I'm gonna have to get into, and so it's gonna be interesting. But yeah, we're gonna talk about the drama in the WNBA and Caitlin Clark and all that good stuff. And we've talked about Caitlin Clark on this channel here before, but it's just, I don't even know, man. It's a lot to get into. So we're going to talk about all that. But before we get started, you know what time it is. If you're here on YouTube and you haven't already, please make sure you go ahead, click that like, that subscribe, that notification bell. Make sure you're kept up to date whenever we drop new content on the channel. If you want the audio only version of the podcast, open up your audio podcast platform, hit the search bar, type in The Format Podcast, and we should come right up. If you're enjoying the content, make sure you give us that like, that 5-star review, and drop a comment. All that stuff helps us rise in the algorithm, helps us find more sports fans, helps more sports fans find us. And finally, make sure you write it down, put it in your phone, set an alarm, do whatever you got to do to remember. Saturday nights at 7 p.m. we are live here on the Format Podcast, and we'll give you the opportunity to call in, talk to us, get at me. I love it. I can't. All right. Can't wait. So let's go ahead and kick it off with a few quick hits here before we get going with the main topics. So I think I think we know what the first quick hit's going to be, right? What do you think it should be, Transformer?
I think it should be Romeo Dobbs getting a suspension. No? Okay, let's keep it real. All right, we're going to get this out the way because I want to hear the rest of this static for the rest of this show.
No
Lakers
static.
preseason game started last night. They played Minnesota in a loss of 124-107. All right, preseason. Who cares, right? But the main attraction was that we got to finally see Bronny James in an actual NBA game, being the 55th pick, being LeBron James' son. Of course, there's going to come with a lot of spotlight, a lot of notification, scrutiny, debate, whether on how he played good or not. All right. And his stats show as follows: 16 minutes, 2 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist, 1 from 6 from the field, 0 for 1 for 3, 3 blocks, 1 turnover, minus 12 from the field. All right. Whether that's good or bad, it's both. All right. It's both. It's legit both. For people saying that he played bad, then that means you only looked at one aspect of the basketball game. You didn't look at
3
the
blocks right there.
Side.
3
blocks is crucial. I mean, and 2 of them were chase downs. Like he, like literally, one was a brush screen that he came off of, and he, beat the ball to the rim. Pause. Another one was a chase down off of, I believe, was a turnover.
I saw that one. I was like, okay, all right, he hustled.
He hustled. And matter of fact, that play was a highlight play of the day. It was a chase down block, and he came down. And he made the assist to Rui Hachimura in the corner for a 3 ball. So that shows you some highlights or some flashes of what he can be as a player. So, 1 for 6 from the field is not pretty good, but we see that a lot in rookie players, particularly in the second round picks, even first round picks. They have struggled from the field coming in. But our number 1 pick, not overall, but Lakers' first pick, Dalton Connect 4, 16 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 7 for 13 from the field, 2 for 7 from 3, but he was a minus 13 also in the game. So, still some good numbers, from the first pick of the Lakers draft. And we seen flashes. Like I like the kid's drive. Dalton Connect, he had quite a few drives to the basket, some dunks here and there, and quite a few bombers. He's not scared to shoot the 3 ball. But the main purpose here, Bronny James, good or bad, both. I put it right in the middle.
No, we got to be fair.
Bad offensively. He couldn't get shots to fall. He had one drive basket to the layup. Layup to the basket. I believe that was at the end of the fourth quarter. And other than that, he missed everything else. So call it fair. Bad offensively, good defensively. So I think it's a okay start for, again, a 55th pick. However, it's ranked higher because his last name is what? James. But what do you got? What do you guys think about the overall aspect of Bronny's?
I think overall is fair, and I think overall is fair. Definitely, clearly could use some improvement, but it's the kid's first preseason. Clearly. Nobody's expecting him to come out and put up 30, right? Like that would be ridiculous. Okay, so it's his first preseason game. Definitely rough offensively, but that was kind of the book on him, right? Nobody thought that he was going to be that guy. His whole thing was athletic, kind of strong defender. So as you're sitting there talking about that and just kind of, I did see some of the highlights from it. I'm not going to lie and tell you I watched the game because, really don't care about the Lakers. No, but in all seriousness, in all seriousness, to think about it, I'm wondering, like, obviously he played in college, but could he be a low budget Marcus Smart? An athletic, physical defender who needs to take some time to become a better offensive player. Still not an elite offensive player, but, is that kind of the ceiling for Bronny? Is that the type of player like he could become?
I can see that. I could see a player like that, like I would say like a Tony Allen or
Tony Allen was elite defensively. I don't know about that.
I mean, but like if you can work defense is about effort, right? If you're not doing anything on the offensive side of the ball, if I'm clamping you down defensively, I can at least allow my offense that time and opportunity to grow as I continue to keep playing. Defense is all effort. And I think if he puts forth that effort, you're starting off with 3 blocks. That's one hell of a start. That shows that you're providing effort. Like you're working to, be in this game for more than just your bad shooting. You're trying to provide a great aspect for him. But, again, it's one game. I'm not finna say, he's going to be the next Marcus Smart or anything like that. I believe we're far too soon into the young man's career. Like I said, I see him going to the G League after the first couple of weeks. We're going to get that, walk-in ceremony of him throwing a lob to Bron, or Bron, trying to throw a lob to him, that celebration. And then we're going to move on to actual basketball within the next 2 to 3 weeks of the basketball season. So, G, what you think about it, man?
Bronny, man, y'all hit it on, on the nail. Hit the hammer. Hit the nail on the head with the hammer when it comes to Bronny, right? But I wanted to shed light on another player that was drafted in the same draft class. He went number 8 in the first round. Rob Dillingham.
Oh, I thought he was going Bob Carrington. All right, my bad.
No. Rob Dillingham. Yeah. 25 minutes, 21 points, 3 from 6 from the 3.
He had a good game.
20. Yeah, he had a good game, man, and I've been following this kid since college, man. Actually, I think he's pretty good. He's going to be pretty good. I know it's supposed to be about Bronny, but
absolutely.
I'm waiting for Bronny to get his offensive self together. It's going to take a while, I think. This is the first preseason. I think it's the first preseason.
Yeah, this is first preseason game. Yeah, they kicked it off last night.
Yeah.
Well, no, the night before. Cleveland the night before, but Lakers game was last night. Yeah.
What is?
G saw something. Is that the Bama game?
Yeah.
The score must change. Hold up, let me tune in real quick.
Vanderbilt just scored again. Yo, Clark Lee is a heck of a coach, man.
Wow. Bama in trouble already.
Look at this. Wow. You read the press clippings, it'll get you. Notre Dame knows all about that. Anyway. It was, like you said, Bronny up and down. Everybody knew Rob Dillingham coming out was already, a better player. So we'll see. We'll see what it comes down to. Again, Bronny clearly needs a lot of development, and hopefully he'll get that in the G League.
Yeah, I think, like I said, that's the smart play, right? It's the 55th pick. I mean, I say that and all to say it's the 55th pick. Where do they normally go?
Yeah,
what in the first 1 to 2 seasons? Where do they normally go?
In the G League. The only thing about that is, like, on one hand we say, oh, it's the 55th pick. On the other hand, like, this dude's getting all the attention and blah blah blah, and we know why that is.
But we know why that is, though.
Yeah.
But
getting it both ways, man. And I'm like, pause. I'm like, it's not really, like, pick one.
Yeah.
But he's also not asking for that. That's just what he was born into. So I can't even be mad at the kid. But again, we'll see.
Yep. In other news.
In
other news, Edgar Allan Poe. Huh?
Edgar Allan Poe. Why are we bringing up Edgar Allan Poe?
Why are we? You know what? I'm gonna bring it to G on this one, bro.
Okay.
Why are we gonna talk about Edgar Allan Poe?
Nevermore.
Why does that sound familiar? Why does that name bring a great topic to this show?
Well,
I'm trying to think.
Deontay Adams.
Devontae.
I'll say Deontay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Deontay Adams. Yeah, he posted a picture of Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah, but why is that such a huge
I'm wondering
topic?
why would he do that?
Why are we discussing Edgar Allan Poe and Devontae Adams in the same conversation, the same sentence?
You know what? I was thinking about that. I was like, wow, he must really like the Raven, right?
Good poem.
He was known as the Raven. Okay, that makes sense.
He wrote it.
The mascot, right? The Raven's mascot.
Okay.
Poe. Yeah, that's another one.
Okay.
So,
famous poem. And if I'm not mistaken, wasn't Edgar Allan Poe from Baltimore?
Absolutely.
Okay. So Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, well, close enough.
Whoa. I mean, but did Devontae all of a sudden just start reading poetry in the middle of the night and start posting Edgar Allan Poe? Or was he trying to hint at?
Maybe.
Whoa.
Maybe.
Wait a minute.
I mean, it looked like that's what he was doing.
Do I have to get a number 17 jersey in purple and black?
Hey man, looks better in green and gold, you know.
You know what? It's green and yellow. It's green and yellow. It's definitely green and yellow. So you don't even know your colors. Okay.
Oh, my bad. Oh, okay. Man, everybody else that'd be gold, but all right.
Have you ever seen gold cheese, sir?
No.
Okay. What color is cheese?
I understand that, man, but I'm saying a lot of people would call that green and gold, though. You know
who calls that green and gold?
I wouldn't, because I'm a Notre Dame guy. We know what gold really looks like, but a lot of people say green and gold. You've never heard that before?
No, because nobody's that dumb.
I'm gonna look that up for you. I'm gonna show you.
Yeah, man, Lil Wayne had a whole song called Green and Yellow. I mean,
overheard.
Oh boy, that's tough. I mean, you can look at the helmet. What?
Mm-hmm. We're not.
You know what? Never mind. You got it, Bruce. You got it. I'm gonna put it.
I'm just saying. Some people, some people do that. But on the real, right? Excuse me. What kind of irked me with this whole Davante Adams thing, right? Is that?
Oh, my bad.
No, you good. Excuse me. What kind of irked me with that whole thing was, remember, stuff was being reported that his two preferred destinations were the Jets and the Saints, right? Because of his connections with Derek Carr and with Aaron Rodgers. And what's up, Jay Wills? Good to see you, man. And so that's what, like, there was a series of Instagram posts, I think it was. And so he was like, y'all gotta stop, assuming y'all know stuff when you don't. And then after that, he posted the Edgar Allan Poe thing. And Edgar Allan Poe also had a saying, something like, what is it? Believe half of what you hear, or something like that. I can't remember the exact. Let me see.
Oh no,
real quick.
I thought G would have been a whole Edgar Allan Poe philanthropist.
No, it was crazy though. But because the bottom line comes down to he being Davante Adams is like, yo, stop, making assumptions and trying to report on what I'm doing when y'all don't really know. But at the same time, he's doing and I'm going to say the name here, he's doing the LeBron move and making cryptic tweets so people can talk about him. Well, if you don't want people making assumptions, either be quiet or tell them what it is. It's that simple. I hate when people are like, oh, don't assume but then they're, trying to drop breadcrumbs so you could talk about it. It's one of the two. Like, either you want the attention or you don't. Like, that's one thing.
Believe nothing you hear and only half that you see.
Thank you.
Edgar Allan Poe. There you go.
Right.
I got you, brother.
Right. So that was, thank you. I was looking for the quote here. So that was the quote that he put when he posted the Edgar Allan Poe thing. What's up, G?
Man, hold on. First of all,
what's up?
If you're a Ravens fan, you gotta love that tweet. Just for
I actually think it was dope.
Yeah, if you're a Ravens fan,
dope.
That tweet came across. I don't care what side of the fence you stand on, man. Like,
yeah,
that was like, oh yeah, that's fucking awesome.
That's dope. Like, cause you gotta think, because nobody knew. They were like, Edgar Allan Poe, like, what the world? Then you do your research. You're like,
everybody knew.
Yeah,
I got that right away. Yeah, I got that right away. No, I'm just saying, I understand that part of it. Like, it was cool as a Ravens fan. I get it.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, my issue is this whole don't do the cryptic tweet thing and then get irritated when people are talking about it. Obviously, you want people talking about it, or like I said, you would either just be quiet and not say anything, or you would tell people exactly what it is. But man, these dudes got to stop this, and we know exactly where this cryptic tweet, cryptic post nonsense came from. But anyway,
where did it come from?
LeBron. I'm gonna say it. LeBron. He's the master of it. He started it. Nobody was doing it before him. What, you thought I wasn't gonna say it?
It was plenty of people that did it before him, but okay.
No, he started.
The biggest renounced guy, LeBron, does it. Now all of a sudden he's the leader. That's crazy. Moving on, bro. We're not gonna go into this. We got other things to talk about. We're 24 minutes in. Let's go ahead and discuss Pittsburgh and Dallas. Okay.
Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Because this could go sideways real quick.
Bring your research, bring your popcorn. It's going to be an awesome one, guys. All right.
Oh my goodness.
It's going to be an awesome one.
Yes, indeed. This is how we get down. All right. They're arguing about Bronny and preseason in the chat. I love it. I love the interaction. All right. So one of the biggest games of the weekend, Pittsburgh and Dallas. That's the Sunday night primetime game.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy how much primetime games Dallas gets, man. It is.
But are you shocked though?
No, because they have a super popular fan base. They really biggest. Do. And yeah, they're right there. Pittsburgh is right up there too. It's like it's Dallas, Pittsburgh, and Green Bay. I think are the three biggest fan bases of all these teams in the country. So, but yeah, so they got the primetime game, the Sunday night, 8:20. So we'll be getting on with y'all and discussing the games right after that one goes off tomorrow night. But I think this game is huge for both teams for different reasons, right? Dallas is coming in 2-2. Pittsburgh's coming in 3-1, coming off a loss. Right. And you know what? Before I even get into it, man, let's start with G, man. What are your thoughts on this Pittsburgh Dallas game? What do you see? Kind of what do you think it means to both teams?
Oh man, so Pittsburgh Dallas. I think I went with Pittsburgh on this one. Did I go with Pittsburgh?
I think we all went with Pittsburgh. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, but lately, just in the media, right? Like, you see a whole bunch of what they call it, controversy within that Steelers camp now, with Big Ben going publicly talking about, hey, Mike Tomlin, I want to be a bigger part of this organization. Ben Roethlisberger, I think he may make the Hall of Fame. I'm not sure.
No, he's going to make the Hall of Fame.
He's going to make the Hall of Fame.
He's a two-time champion. He's got more 500-yard passing games than any quarterback in history. He's top 10.
But that
first ballot, matter of fact.
That alleged might keep him out for a little while.
For what?
The scandal?
The rape. Yeah, the rape. The alleged sodomization, I should say. Yeah,
the alleged sexual assault. But the only thing I'll say about that is that in the NFL, I think it's actually written into the Hall of Fame rules that the off-the-court stuff is not relevant. Again, I'll always point to it. Freaking Lawrence Taylor, crackhead, literally had to get him out of the crack house on game day. And we can look at countless NFL players that have beaten up women, etc. And obviously, we're not advocating for that in any form or fashion. But the point is, the NFL is not. I'm not going to say they're not bothered, but that doesn't stop guys from getting into the Hall of Fame. Big Ben's going in. There's no question about that. They're going to have to change the rules.
But was he convicted?
No, he settled it.
Yeah.
He settled. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But anyway, I say all that to say, good piece though, Bruce, with your, that infinite knowledge and wisdom that you have.
That's why he has no hair like me.
In the Hall of Fame with charges or alleged. That's awesome, man. We need more of that. So yeah, I brought that up because he challenged Mike Tomlin on his decision-making process in the fourth quarter. He said, you got a timeout. You should have used that timeout. Mm-hmm. And then, later on this week, early this week, he was just talking about how he wanted to be a bigger part of the organization and such. But this is a good part. If you're a Ravens fan, Geno Smith and the Patrick Queen is not really working out for them guys. Like the fans is like going public, like torching them, man, torching them in the chats. Like, who is this guy? Why did we pick him up? His angles are wrong. Talking about Geno Stone, sorry. And then moving to Patrick Queen was like he couldn't tackle a homeless person. Like it's just like so many. They just roasting those two defensive players. They play really well in our game. Next to Roquan, of course, and then Geno Stone, who I think he had like 9 interceptions one season with us.
Yeah. I think he led the league 1 year. Yeah. But we know a lot of guys look great in the Ravens scheme, and then they move on, and that's their right. But it doesn't look quite the same. Remember, this better than I do, G. Patrick Queen was not good before the arrival of Roquan. He was going on bus territory, and then Roquan Smith came in and cleaned up a lot of things and made him look a lot better than he was. So.
Yeah, so he had problems in pass coverage. But I've never seen anybody openly criticize Mike Tomlin like this. I mean, you see them do some dirty things in the past with, borderline dirty things with like kickoffs where he tried to sweep the legs. But I've never seen anybody like not a quarterback that you share rings with. You share championships. That was different. Yeah. So I don't know, man. Like I still like Pitt.
Yeah.
I got you. What you got, Transformer?
I mean, it's Pitt. To me, Dallas already has trouble with running the ball and getting ran against, right? So
yes,
you're coming in Pittsburgh. What are they primarily going to do? Run the football. And I think that's where
you would think,
right? I mean, you got Najee Harris, you're going to have Justin Fields. So I think, If you're not running the ball at minimum 30 times that game, you're actually going to lose that football game. If you're going to try to rely on Justin Fields' arm, it's only because you're down 14 points and, Dallas came out of the gates hot, right? I think that would be the only reason. But other than that, if it's a close game, you should be running the ball 30 times, especially when Micah Parsons is officially out. I mean, I think we knew that was going to happen. And DeMarcus Lawrence is going to be out for, I think he's on IR, or I think he just may come back in 3-4 weeks. So either way, you're down two of the biggest defensive ends on your team, and you already can't run the ball with said guys on your team. I think it's a no-brainer here when you're looking at the field. The Steelers, they're coming off of a loss. Cowboys, if they win this game, then they're going to win this game off of grit, and Steelers finally turn over the football. I think that's the only way they can win this football game. So
that's a great point. Yeah. That's a great point. I think my bad.
Week 5. We did say that after week 5 we was going to start to see a different Steelers, and so I don't know if this is going to be if they win. If they do win, we start to see them self-destructing. They look pretty solid last week. You know that they lost, but they look pretty solid. And
who did they lose against? I forgot.
Colts.
Oh yeah, the Joe Flacco game.
Yeah,
and a lot of that, because I say this a lot. When you come into these football games, you come in with a scheme. You come in with a scheme and you're prepared for a certain person to play.
Right.
It's easy to catch somebody off guard when the primary focus of the football game is gone. Nobody was prepared for Joe Flacco. So I think you could also get caught up into that as well. Like your whole defensive scheme, your players like, okay, what are we trying to do? We planned this whole game for Anthony Richardson, a whole lot of pass rush, a quarterback draw. We set up our defensive scheme off of that. Now we got Joe Flacco who just sits back there. In the pocket. We didn't scheme off of that. So I think last week it could be, and if they beat Dallas soundingly, it could show that, last week was an anomaly because they just wasn't prepared for Joe Flacco to come in that football game.
Yeah, no, I can agree with that. I also think that you're starting to see, and I could be wrong, I could be a little early on this, but I think you're starting to see Justin Fields really kind of settle in to the scheme and with Arthur Smith. He's not putting up huge numbers, but he's having some of the best numbers of his career. Grab that. He is. What's Justin Fields right now? He's 3-1, obviously completing 71% of his passes, 7.5 yards per attempt, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick, and so he's not turning it over. He's completing at a much higher level, much higher percentage than he has at any point in his career, and he still has the ability to make plays with his legs, but they being the Steelers are not even really using that yet. So that's a plus. I think
that's why I say you should run that ball 30 times. He should be included with at least 7-8 plays where he's doing something with his legs. I think.
Yeah, no, I can agree with that. I can agree with that. And I think you actually might have seen it more if Michael Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence were playing this week, because obviously, he would have to get out there, but that's going to be interesting because now, you're taking away 2 of your best defensive weapons from Dallas, not taking away, but those guys are injured, so they're not playing. I think this is an opportune time for the Steelers to get this win. G, in response to your commentary on Ben Roethlisberger and what he had to say regarding Mike Tomlin. First of all, I get that he loves the Steelers organization. Okay. What do you play? 18 years, something like that? 18 years, 17 years?
Who, Big Ben? I think it's 15, 16.
I think it's more than that. But the point is, he won 2 championships there. I get it. Again, he's going to be a Hall of Famer. No question about that. But here's the deal. He's part of the reason that the Steelers are in this position. He held them back because he was garbage like his last 3 seasons. He held them back. He should have stepped away and retired, but he liked the attention and he liked collecting those checks, right? So, he's hanging around, he's getting the money, he's putting Tomlin in a bad spot because the Steelers are probably the most loyal organization in the NFL, whether it's with their coaches or with their players. And so they took care of him. They kind of let him stay longer than he should have. Belichick would have been cut the dude, right? You're
out
not
of there.
Mustard no more. You got to go.
Out of there.
Right. Facts. So Roethlisberger, he needs to chill and just shut up. Like, I really don't like the disrespect that he's showing to Mike Tomlin in this situation, because if we're going to be real, if we go back the last 3 years of Big Ben's career and then the years following that, Mike Tomlin has been an absolute miracle worker in terms of the quarterback play that he's had to work with and still not having a losing season after what 17, 18 years as a head coach now. That's inconceivable.
That's crazy.
Belichick can't say that. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So we have to look at what Mike Tomlin is doing as a quarterback, as the head coach in Pittsburgh is literally the definition of making, chicken soup out of chicken crap. You know what I'm saying? So nah, man, Big Ben, shut the hell up. Go sit somewhere. Seriously. And I'm not even a Steelers fan, obviously, but I'm just like, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? And you want a bigger role in the Steelers organization to do what? You bored? Go hunting somewhere. Do what you do, man. Get out of here. No, seriously, like
go hunting somewhere.
When has he struck you as some type of
football
intellectual,
analyst,
right? That you feel like he would be a good voice to have around the Steelers organization. Explain that to me. If you said that about Peyton Manning or Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes, when he's done one of these guys, got you.
You say Peyton Manning anything, he's hired.
Right.
Peyton anything.
Mm-hmm.
Peyton, you want to? Yep.
Exactly.
Peyton,
exactly.
Yep. You got it. You got the job. Don't even worry about it.
Exactly. So, you got the nerve to be out here talking. But okay, let me get off because that really irritated me. I didn't even know about that till G told me. But back to this particular game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout either way, but I do, like we talked about, I believe Pittsburgh is going to win. That defense is crazy. I think they're going to get after Dak Prescott. Again, to your point, wow, Alabama can't stop Vanderbilt from running the ball.
No, they cannot.
Insane. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm distracted. But
fairly so.
Yeah, I know, right? But yeah, so you just watch this thing and you're like, man, you got to be kidding me with what we're seeing here. In terms, I don't believe Dallas is going to be able to get it done. But here's the bigger problem, right? We look at that. Yeah, absolutely, Nino. You're right. They let Ben hang around too long. But again, you know better than I do how loyal that organization is to both players and personnel. But that said, here's the problem. And check this out, G. Before you got on, Transformer and I were talking about this. Dallas loses this game. Either way, obviously the schedule is the schedule. But imagine they lose this game. Check out their next 6, right? After Pittsburgh. Their next 6 is Detroit, San Francisco, Atlanta, Philly, Texas, Washington. That's a mean 6-game stretch, right? I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, man.
That's going to be some good football, too.
It is going to be some good football. But the wild part is
games on the road.
Wow.
Yeah. They're at home. They're in Atlanta. They got to travel to Atlanta. They got to travel to San Fran. They got to travel to Washington. And that Eagles game is a toss-up.
Tough sledding.
So, yeah.
And best believe Detroit runs the football. They're going to come down there and run it down your throat. Pause.
Oh,
they are going to do that.
Yeah. Handing it off to Gibbs, no question.
Yeah. And if you don't have a healthy Micah and DeMarcus Lawrence, we see Jared Goff can stand back there and slice and dice you. Right?
No, absolutely.
He can literally go perfect on you. So I think the Cowboys are in big trouble. I think they need this win just to kind of stay above water. Furthermore, what it can be going down the road. So
I think they're on the edge of playing for a top pick, a top 15 pick. If they lose this game, I think then they're on that trajectory because you lost another receiver, so now you're down a weapon, right? You're down your defensive end. You're Lawrence Taylor of the Dallas Cowboys, right? You're down DeMarcus Lawrence. You have no run game. But what the hell are we playing for then?
What's up, Sports T?
Good what I mean? Like, I don't see us doing anything at all. If we go in here and now we're 2-3, now we got to play the Lions. We got to travel to San Fran. We got to travel to Atlanta. Now, if they can come out of this game, they can come out of this gauntlet 3-3. They can firmly still be in the mix, but you got the Commanders and the Eagles still in that division. You might still not make it, even as a 7th seed. So, I think this is a huge game for him, man. If I see a lot of grit and grime, if I see Dak throw for 3, I'm not saying he got to have a Kirk Cousins-esque game, but 350, 3-4 tubs, and they come out with a win, then okay, they got it. All right, they figured it out. They got to, the game is literally going to be predicated off of Dak.
Yeah,
the Cowboys now sit on Dak Prescott's shoulders.
Yes,
and we're now going to find out, is he worth that? What did he get?
Of course, he's not worth that. 240.
240.
6 years.
Call Flacco.
240.
Flacco.
He might want to call Flacco.
I know, right?
Well, Anthony Richardson might not play now, so Flacco might start this weekend.
No, man, Flacco is necessary in Indianapolis. Yeah. But yeah, it's just bad, man. And see, here's the problem though. This is where I know Jerry Jones messed up, because even if they end up being bad enough to get one of these quarterbacks, Jerry's not going to take him, especially not after he just paid Dak. What are you going to do? You're not going to take the guy for what? Because
Atlanta just did it, but don't be Atlanta.
Yeah, but even though Kirk Cousins got paid, he didn't get paid what Dak got paid. So it's going to be almost impossible to unload that contract. So he's not going to draft the quarterback. So I don't know, man. Dallas is in a bad spot. So,
Damn, Sneed, Ben is a low-quality character trash can residue. Why the hell would anybody want that in their organization, especially in regards to leadership or mentorship? Jesus, what a very thought-out comment there, Sneed, bro.
But really, is Sneed that far off on this?
Nah, he's not. The accuracy is there.
Yeah,
see how definitely there.
Mike Tomlin responds to his what he said on his podcast.
I think Mike Tomlin he's not gonna get pulled into the trap. And of course, any good reporter, in the media sessions is going to ask that question. Hey, Coach, I'm sure you heard what Ben Roethlisberger had to say about your late game clock management. I'm also sure that you heard that he has interest in being a more vocal member and a more involved member of the Steelers organization. Obviously, now that his playing career is over, what are your thoughts on that? And do you have any response to what he said? I know I'd ask that if I was in the press conference.
Last year they was calling for the job. I don't know if you remember that. There was speculation on if he was going to return. I think this was like off season or something. If they was going to go a different direction other than Mike Tomlin. You guys remember that?
I do. Yeah. I don't.
So I didn't understand where it came from. I was like, all right, what are they really talking about here? Because this dude's been, AFC North. If you remove him, who you gonna put there? Ben?
That's the thing.
What's the flag on? I missed it.
That's the thing. I think they're looking at it and they're saying that. I think the premise was they were saying like you may have gotten as far as you can get with Tomlin and you need a new voice. No, that's not it. You just need a quarterback. If you can get a quarterback, man, the dude is real deal. Dude is, as much as I hate to be sitting here lauding the Steelers, man, he's that good. But so Pittsburgh and Dallas, this is crazy, right?
Down goes Bama.
Hey, this can happen the week after a big win. Trust me, I know. Yeah. This is a huge win for the Vanderbilt program. You see, they just Gatorated Clark Lee.
Oh, I haven't gotten that far yet.
That's a huge. My bad.
Somebody go check Skip Bayless's Twitter. It might be on fire right now.
I know, right? But first win ever versus an AP #1 team. Snaps 23-game losing streak to Alabama. Wow,
23 games. God damn.
That's how dominant that program is going to be. But now check this out real quick. And I know I'm digressing from the topic at hand, y'all, Pittsburgh, Dallas. But hey, this is a sports show and it's Saturday afternoon, so y'all know what time it is. But here's the deal, right? The same people that were in love with Kalen DeBoer from Roll Tide country last week, they are probably going to be calling for his head for losing to Alabama this week. It's crazy. Cobb, what up, man? You know what's funny? I knew somebody was going to ask me about that, and it had to be you, didn't it? I don't know that it necessarily proves the depth of the SEC. I'm just answering this question real quick. I don't know that it proves the depth of the SEC. What I do know, Clark Lee, the head coach of Vanderbilt, he is Notre Dame's former defensive coordinator. The guy can coach, really smart guy. He can coach. He knows how to recruit in an environment like Vanderbilt, which is a high-level academic institution. And, he got these guys ready to play. And also I think he took advantage of Alabama coming off of that, gigantic win against Georgia last week. It can happen. We saw it happen earlier. Notre Dame goes into A&M in week 1, has a big win, probably a career-defining win for Coach Marcus Freeman, comes back home the following week and gets beat by a bad NIU team. It can happen. This is college football. So hopefully that answers your question. All right. Any given Saturday. All right, let's do this, man. Let's go ahead and say again.
No, I'm looking at the highlights right now. These folks is hyped.
Crazy, right? I mean, wouldn't you be?
No, absolutely.
Can you imagine the party in Nashville
never
tonight?
beat a number 1 ranked AP team.
Ever.
Your
Can
first
you
ever.
imagine the party in Nashville tonight? It's going to be bonkers.
Oh, man.
Yep. You know what, though? Shorty might be out there talking about hot tour. She's from Nashville. Spit on that thing. You feel me?
Spit on that thing. Yo, shout out Vandy, man. They pulled it off.
That's a great win. That's a great win. All right. Dropping the phone number in the chat. 904-219-8264. 904-219-8264. And it's scrolling on the bottom of the screen. Go ahead, give us a call and give us your thoughts on the big game tomorrow, Pittsburgh and Dallas, one of the big games. Kind of, what do you think this means for Dallas if they lose? What do you think this means for Pittsburgh if they lose? I also think it's big for Justin Fields. This may be arguably the biggest game of his career so far. If he wins this game, I think it may solidify him as the starter, providing he doesn't get hurt. So I think he knows he needs this. Now, he can't go and try to do too much or be, Superman, but I think he knows he needs this. So, yeah, we'll see.
I think it's going to be what time is this game? This is a primetime game. It's the last game tonight. Yeah. So it's going to be a primetime game. Ahead. So all eyes on you, Dallas.
Yes, sir. We got Sneed calling. Let's go ahead and take this.
Uh-oh.
Sneed, what's good, my brother? How you doing?
Bruce, what up?
Maintaining, man. Maintaining.
G, what up? Transformer, what up?
Sneed. Give in the comment section what they need.
Yeah, man, I'm trying. I'm doing my part, bro. You know it. All right, man. So I'm gonna take the Steelers tomorrow, man. I think they got something good going on. Tomlin's a really good coach. The Cowboys are chokers, anyways. They can't win the games they need to. Mm-hmm. So I'm just gonna say they're gonna lose. Not that Justin Fields is that great. I think he's decent. Mm-hmm. With Tomlin, I think that kind of upgrades him a little bit. It makes him a more viable quarterback to find some wins.
Yeah.
But I mean, Tomlin's an overachiever. Tomlin,
yes, he is.
You were describing how he could make chicken soup out of chicken poop.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So that's a special trait.
It is.
And I don't know. G was talking about how there were reports that his job may have been on the line. Bro, that's not real life. His job has never been on the line. They don't do that in Pittsburgh. You get to walk away in Pittsburgh because they only hire guys that they know are going to do it for 30 years.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think in the last 50 years, they've only had 3 head coaches. Who can say that?
And they all won Super Bowls.
That's true. Yeah. There you go.
You see what I'm saying? There's it's validated. It's confirmation that they're doing it right.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So, and then I get stuck with Jimmy Haslam. Appreciate that, Pittsburgh, your old minority owner. Thank you. I get stuck with that BS.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then the thing about Ben Roethlisberger, bro, that's garbage can residue, dog. That is absolute trash. So I don't and you know what? Tomlin's smart to take the high road.
Yes.
He's not going to win a public spat because these fans will always say they're going to hold Ben to this high regard because he won rings there.
Yeah, correct.
They want to celebrate these players.
Mm-hmm.
They'll forget about the bathroom stall incidents. You know what I'm saying?
Alleged.
Because they just remember the Super Bowl. All right. If you say so.
Well, listen, he wasn't convicted of anything. I don't even think.
I believe he innocent until proven
guilty. But then why apologize if you weren't convicted of anything?
I'm not. All I'm saying is alleged. You got to make sure we preface that with the word alleged, because I don't have any dough to get sued by Ben Roethlisberger.
And I'm pretty sure Nino's Star Chat is not going to support that either.
Right. And real quick, thank you so much, Nino. Appreciate you, man.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying we appreciate Nino with the super chat coming through with the $4.99.
Shout out to Nino, man. He loves him some Lakers, bro. He thinks they're going to win the NBA Finals, bro. Because
wait, what?
They got rid of Darvin Ham. They had a JJ Redick, who's the next Greg Popovich.
Oh, okay.
Now they got Bronny. He's going to upgrade everything. And Bron, of course, is the GOAT. I mean, now you're going to win 70 games.
I'm not sure, Nino, that I'm pretty sure you exaggerate his words there, brother.
Oh, my goodness.
I am a Laker fan on the panel, so mind your tone.
Yeah. Okay. So the game itself, I mean, the Cowboys don't have their best defender. Mike is out.
Yep.
Well, he doesn't show up in big games anyway, so I don't even know if it would matter. But I get your point.
I don't think he's registered a sack this year.
Oh, yeah. Come on, man. They don't have. I mean.
Oh, you were asking a question.
I didn't know that D-Law was out. I knew that. Shit. All right. Well, I don't know how you're supposed to beat a team that's got what 3-1, the Steelers.
Yeah, 3-1.
And then the only win that the Cowboys have is against the trash Browns that they probably could have lost.
No, they beat the Giants too. They're 2-2. They beat the Giants as well.
Oh, they beat them. They won last week.
Yes,
yeah, they won. It was a close one, but they won.
It was closer than it should have
been. That's a trash team too. I don't know, man. Just give me the Steelers, bro. I think that's a slam dunk pick.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. But you know what? The funny thing is, when everything is on one side, that's when the underdog somehow manages it to pop up and
we call that Vegas.
Yes, there you go.
You're taking. If this was like a 90-10 probability, you're going with a 10, bro. That's not a good probability.
No, I'm not. I picked Pittsburgh as well. I picked Pittsburgh as well. I think defensively they're going to get after Dak. Cowboys can't run the ball. They can't stop the run. They don't have the two most important elements of winning. And Dak is going to try, but it's going to be too much.
Yeah, I think the Steelers are going to win this. The Steelers are hosting, right?
They're in Pittsburgh.
Yes, they're at home. Yep, they're at Pittsburgh.
Man, they might lose by 3 touchdowns, bro.
No,
but the thing is, like Pittsburgh isn't a high,
not explosive, right?
Yeah, they're not an explosive offensive team.
I think they're going to score. I think they're going to score a defensive touchdown.
I can see that. Maybe like a strip sack, fumble recovery, something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, you start getting defensive touchdowns. I mean, those scores can run up.
Well, that's true. Quick side note, I did see as well that the Steelers are putting together an aggressive package to try and get what's my man's name?
Devontae Adams.
Yes, Devontae Adams. Thank you.
They better.
No way.
Yeah. So
he's like the hottest commodity in the league right now. They just know that he's out. Like,
oh no, he's done. He's done. He's not playing there again. But I'll tell you what, that would make Pittsburgh really, really dangerous if they could get him on one side and Pickens on the other. Yeah, that would be tough. That
probably makes them the best receiving duo in the AFC, right?
Yeah, it does.
Pickens, Devontae Adams,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does.
But Jamar Chase, T. Higgins will be your second close.
Oh yeah, but T. Higgins, he probably going to be out. He's on the franchise right now. They're playing him on the franchise tag, so he probably won't even be there next year. They better draft a receiver. So
Yeah, I couldn't think.
Well, it doesn't change my season's outcome. My Browns are straight trash, bro. So they might as well just go ahead and do it and go ahead and win that chip, bro.
Yeah, it looks bad. But
I wish Russell Wilson was still playing, bro. My team might have a chance when they go to Pittsburgh.
I hear you, man.
Thanks, Bruce. Appreciate you taking my call, bro.
Appreciate the call, Sneed. Thank you, brother.
Big Sneed.
All right. Yeah, Sneed always with the great calls. Let's go ahead and by the way, we'll take this time real quick to say, you know what time it is. If you haven't already, please go ahead, click that like and subscribe on the YouTube channel. It helps us out a lot. And make sure you hit that share button. The share button's powerful. Let's get some more people checking out the show. All right. Let's go ahead and get to our next topic. This one, I don't know, it's kind of bittersweet, I guess. And it also invites some questions, right? So we heard that Derrick Rose, Derrick Rose announced, I guess we didn't hear. He announced earlier this week or late last week, was it?
That's last week.
Okay, late last week. Really? And we're now getting to this? Jeez.
Football season. And when he posted the video? I think it was last week.
Yes, you're right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Derrick Rose, who was I think he's the youngest ever league MVP.
Correct.
And when he was younger, he was absolutely elite, just a monster. Arguably the most athletic point guard and explosive that we've ever seen. Him, Westbrook, Ja Morant, right? And so he announced that after a 16-year NBA career, he's retiring. He's not going to play any further. And he's just, well, you can see him right here. Super explosive, great handle, great finisher at the rim. And you can see he had the combination of the elite athleticism along with like, oh gosh. Yeah, that was mean.
That's like
along
my favorite dunk ever of Derrick
right.
Rose.
That's crazy, right? The way he cocked it back.
Like,
Boom. Yeah, that was bad. Yeah, so he had the combination of the elite athleticism. He could shoot it. Obviously, he wasn't Steph, but he could shoot it in the mid-range. And he also was really good at difficult finishes around the rim. And that, you could tell that's the playground ball right there, the way he can finish at the rim. Chicago kid. And so it begs a couple of questions. I guess the first question, and this is the main point of this topic, is Derrick Rose a Hall of Famer? And I'm going to stop talking. And I think I started with G last time. So this time I'm going to start with you, Transformer. Is Derrick Rose a Hall of Famer?
All right. NBA Hall of Fame.
Basketball Hall of Fame.
Basketball Hall of Fame, right? NBA Basketball Hall of Fame is one of the easier Hall of Fames to get into.
That's true.
Can we agree on that? All right.
Yes.
There are quite a few players with a resume that is also questionable that got in due to maybe championships, not necessarily leading them. Maybe one defensive player of the year, but known for the defensive prowess. But other than that, there's no true accolades to their career except for like a defensive player of the year, or like I said, multiple team winning championships, right?
Right.
Derrick Rose, his accolades doesn't stretch further than the first 4 years of his career. All right.
Yeah.
Most valuable player, 3-time NBA All-Star. I think he made a first team as well. Oh, there you go. You got your numbers up there.
Yes,
First team Rookie of the Year, All-Pro Rookie of the Year, and things of that nature. I believe he won a couple of FIBA World Cups. He got gold medal in Turkey, gold medal in Spain. So he has those on his resume. I believe
the
NBA
those.
does add those in there as well, right?
So
with that being said, I look at other careers, right? One particular career I had in mind was Maurice Cheeks. All right, Maurice Cheeks really got in there off of one defensive player of the year, but look at his stat line. He's never averaged over 15.6 points a game, right? I don't consider that a big number to be dealt with. With never averaging over 3 rebounds. Other than that, you wouldn't really know him for much else. He has passing the ball as well, maybe 1 to 2 steals. But you made the Hall of Fame, right? So I think if players like that are eligible to make the Hall of Fame, then I think without a shadow of a doubt, an MVP, the youngest MVP, I think he still holds that record, right? I don't think nobody broke.
Yeah, he's the youngest
holds
MVP.
That record.
Was he 21?
21 years old. So the youngest MVP, even though his career unfortunately was shortened due to the ACL injuries and things of that nature, I believe he's going to get in the Hall of Fame. I think it's without a shadow of a doubt. The Basketball Hall of Fame it doesn't have a high criteria of
it doesn't seem to
stats that you need to be in there. It's like you did 1 or 2 great things in your career, boom, you're in. And I think that MVP puts him right where he should. He did make a couple of I think he made 1 conference finals. I believe that's when he played LeBron James in the Miami Heat. Am I correct? So and he made that a competitive series as much as
that was
he
the
could.
MVP season. Yeah.
He made that a competitive series. So I think he gets in the Hall of Fame without question.
Okay. G.
Oh, yeah. Well, no question. I think, man, you talked about this earlier. And, he definitely gets in my book. He was one of the most explosive guards. And since in this last 90, 2000 era, 2010, and going forward, he's just been that guy. He dropped 50 points when he was playing with New York. This was after all the injuries. It was more just out of nowhere. 2018, 50 points, 50-point ball. Like he's for a player to come back from so many injuries, right, and that type of adversity, and still want to play the game that he loved. Like, man, like you gotta let somebody in when it comes to that. Like, and then not even to mention what we do off the court. I mean, the stats are there. If you look at him taking an MVP from LeBron while LeBron was in his prime, right? LeBron is a Hall of Fame player. Like, he's going to be a Hall of Fame player, right?
No question.
And so while he was in his prime, Derrick Rose was able to steal that MVP from him. That is not debatable. That's fact. This kid, he was terrorizing guards on the court. Explosive, take off from everywhere. I think one of my more memorable dunks is when I think it was in that final game where he put the ball around his back. It was almost like a 2-on-1, right? 2-on-1, and he dunked on. I think his name was Anthony Cole, maybe. It was a big guy. Played with Miami.
Yeah, Miami game.
Yeah. Oh, I know you talking about. Is it Joel?
That was probably one of the
No. I think it was Anthony Cole. I think that was his
name. One of the nastiest dunks I've seen, and man, I said, kid got it, man. Like, if you don't want that type of talent in the Hall of Fame, then what do you want in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah. I mean, even though it's short, right? I mean, he had a short prime of his career, and I think that's what the knockback that he's gonna get from spectators and things like that. Like, oh, well, he only averaged 20 points a game 3 times in his career. All right, he got 1 MVP. After his injuries, he wasn't like that. But it's the things that he did while in his prime. I mean, his prime was only 4 years. Yes. But other than that, I mean, even post-injury, 16 points a game, 17 points a game, 16, 18, gets to Minnesota, averages 18, gets to Detroit, averages 18. Those are still great numbers, right? It's not like he just fell off a cliff and just started averaging 6 points a game for the remainder of his career. He was still one hell of a threat offensively, and still had balance. Even when he went to New York, he still showed he was able to put that ball behind his head and put it on you. Pause. And it still showed flashes of what we used to see before the injuries. But it's the Basketball Hall of Fame, man. It's not hard to get into. And I think the stat is every MVP in NBA history has gotten into the Hall of Fame. With that said, you got to put him in there. I think
all high calorie points too, like all high calorie points. I'm just assessing this game. I mean, we don't make the decisions on who getting in and who doesn't get in.
No,
right? We can say, oh, you need to average 20 points a game, but then there's several folks that don't average 20 points a game that's in the Hall of Fame right now. So we look at the impact that he had in the game during his prime before his injury. He can't control getting injured if you're going to the rim, reckless endangerment, and 9 times out of 10 you deem victorious, dunking on bigs and anybody that's under there. And total package player, man. In my eyes, total package player. Yeah, he gets in. If I'm voting, he's getting in.
Yeah, and like AJ just said, Hall of Fame isn't about talent; it's about resume. And your MVP is on that resume. Your MVP is on there, so put him in there. Put him in, no question. I think Chicago is going to get another one in there, but that's the first one since Jordan. No. Pippen was the last one. Yeah, Pippen was the last one. Yeah.
So Derrick Rose was a beast pre-injury, as we saw. I think he was a quiet leader. I don't think he was a big talker. I think he led with his play. To G's point, he does a lot off the court, but that has nothing to do with Hall of Fame. So I don't know why that was brought up. That doesn't help you between the lines. Really outstanding player. He will go into the Hall of Fame. One, because it is the Basketball Hall of Fame, and Basketball Hall of Fame is just weak. And 2, to your point, Transformer, this is one I was going to bring up. I think every single MVP in NBA history has made the Hall of Fame, the Basketball Hall of Fame. So there's that. The question now becomes, should he be a Hall of Famer? And the answer is, I don't think so. I don't. I feel like the criteria for Hall of Fame in any sport should be higher. It should be the best of the best of the best. And at no point can we say that Derrick Rose, maybe if he never gets hurt, but we'll never know. But
we never know.
We say he was even approaching top 10 point guard status. I can't see that. And so with that being the case, I can't imagine this dude is getting into the Hall of Fame. And the other thing I'll say, which is kind of odd being coached by Tibbs, I don't recollect him being a particular
defensive player.
Yeah. Now, I'm not going to say he was loafing on defense. Tibbs is not going to allow that. But I don't think he was a particularly good defensive player. let's hear some commentary on this argument from the Dan Patrick Show, and then we'll come back and talk about it some more.
Sort of Ja Morant before Ja Morant. He was extremely athletic, came out of Memphis, and he was an immediate hit there. If you look at winning your MVP in the first 3 years of your career, he did so his third year in Chicago. Bob McAdoo did that in his third year in Buffalo. Dave Cowens did that as well. I mean, we've had a lot of players who have ended up winning their MVP in the first 3 years or so. Kareem won it his second. Wes Unseld his first. Wilt his first. Bill Russell was second. Bob Pettit his second. But Derrick Rose was in his third year. Then he got injured and was really never the same. And it's almost as if he had played 6 years instead of 12 years. Like he would have been probably a Hall of Famer because I think the voters would have given him the benefit of the doubt of what could have been. But he did hang on. He did play. Probably didn't matter too much to many people here watching unless, you saw him occasionally on a highlight. But he was a highlight when he played with the Chicago Bulls. But he was extremely athletic, explosive, fun, and different coming into the league. But
Hall of Fame voters sometimes give you a hall pass if you have a terrible injury because you were on your way to the Hall of Fame. We mentioned Gale Sayers the other day. I think Grant Hill goes in for his entire career. Is Derrick Rose on the cusp, or is it not that close for the Hall of Fame?
No, because of the controversy at Memphis. So I'm including Grant Hill at Duke winning titles. And you can make an argument he was the best player on the team, and that's saying a lot back then. But with what they vacated those wins, I think, at Memphis, didn't they, in the Final Four appearance or the final game appearance? Yes, Marvin.
But I think the standards for the Basketball Hall of Fame, no disrespect, they're a little bit lower than football and baseball. Yes. So every single person that's won the MVP award in the NBA, they're in the Hall that's eligible. So I think the MVP award gets him in. Like if Penny Hardaway won an MVP award, he'd be in.
So yeah, I think we're all in agreement that he will get in, but this is where I kind of divert from you guys. I don't believe he should be in. And good point, Nino. Definitely Sterling Sharp, except I think, well,
Green Bay Packer, by the way, shout out Sterling.
Sterling Sharp was probably better for a little longer in his game than Derrick Rose was in his, so I totally get it. Sneed says he agrees standards should be higher, but they are not, and that's true too. Like we gotta look at it that way as well. It's kind of what they are, and again, we know that the Basketball Hall of Fame is the weakest of all of them. But I just, as good as he was, he's not a Hall of Famer, but he will get in. So here goes the next question that kind of gets brought up based on Derrick Rose and his retirement and watching him. Now comes the what if. If he never got injured, how good does he get to be? Like if we can prognosticate out, if he never gets injured, how good do you think he becomes?
That's a good one. How great you can never, in hindsight, see, what he could have been. But I can tell you, he would have been a freaking problem.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, the kid was just so explosive. The kid had balance out of this world. He could shoot the ball. And I think once you have the combination of shooting and the athletic ability, your trajectory is high. It's going to be high. And I think he would have definitely averaged at minimum, I would say 5-6 more straight seasons of 20 plus a game. More opportunities to play LeBron James in the Eastern Conference Finals or in the Eastern Conference in general, and getting up there and opportunities to, make it to the NBA Finals. I think his career, we will be having a different conversation. It'll be like, oh yeah, for sure. Why are we having this conversation? Him getting in the Hall of Fame. I think that would be more the conversation then, because he would have more seasons of great play under his belt. I think the reason why we're questioning it now is because of the lack of high quality seasons, but that was due to injury. I think if he still plays, I mean, we're not even having this conversation right now. We're just having a celebratory moment of when is he going to get in the Hall of Fame? Is it first ballot, second ballot? And I think the answer would have still been first ballot Hall of Fame if he would have more games in his prime.
Yeah, he was definitely unstoppable. The only thing that stopped him was injury. and that wasn't to his cause. It kind of took away from the sport actually with him going down, because look at that 2010, 2011 season. It's just filled with highlights, man. So sad he went down, but he was able to get back up, and that itself.
Yeah, that's big.
Yeah, and I believe he belongs in the Hall of Fame for that reason alone. Being able to get back up. A lot of times we don't get to see players, kind of overcome injuries and all the hard work. And if it's part of the game, yes, but a lot of times we don't see players like putting in the work to get back to even being able to play. And to drop a 50 ball, it's crazy work.
So crazy work. You think him doing what he's paid to do and working hard to come back from injury gets him in the Hall of Fame?
First thing you said, I think what he's getting paid to do, right, is basketball. So he could get paid $1 million. He could donate $3 million. What I think is to overcome that type of adversity, you need to have a certain level of mental focus to be able to want to return to the sport of basketball. That is all I think. I don't think anything else about it. I think he's a great player who destroyed a lot of guards in the league. He was deemed damn near unstoppable. And so for that in itself, those are my 2 points for why I would put him in the Hall of Fame. But, who am
I? Okay. So here's the other thing. How do you think his game ages as, obviously you get older, your athleticism wanes. He could shoot, but wasn't necessarily a shooter at the guard position. And now you move it. I think he's less than 32% from three from his career. And that's not the end all be all, except for the fact that as he progressed in his career, the league changed into a 3-point shooting league. So how do you think he's able to still be that guy without that part of his game? I believe as he went on, he had some seasons where he shot it well from three, but overall, not a particularly outstanding shooter. And so it makes you wonder, like, okay, how does he survive? How does he survive and carry on as an impact player without that aspect of his game, based on the fact that the league changed so much? That's kind of.
I mean, you look at John Morant. You look at Russell Westbrook, and you see how they withstood their career off pure. Westbrook for sure off pure athleticism. Never known as a shooter. Very, very bad shooter when it came to the three ball. But you look at John Morant. You look at how
he was a bit of an anomaly with how the way he could contribute all over offensively with the whole triple-double piece. Like, we know he kind of cheated on that a little bit, but in terms of how he could be so many things as one player. And so I think Russell Westbrook's a bit of an anomaly, but I get what you're saying. But go ahead. I'm sorry to cut you.
Yeah, I mean, but like I said, you look at John Morant. Look at his trajectory. He's not known as a 3-point shooter. He's not really known as a shooter at all. He's known as a drive taker. Real fierce on the interior. Being as small as he was, I believe Derrick Rose is like bulkier than John Morant. But I think like he shot good enough to be able to withstand it. Like you said, later on in his career, I'm looking at his numbers here. In 2018, shot 37% from three. 2020 shot 38. So he started to develop that later on in his career. And the reason his 3-point shot is actually particularly low is because he came back off of injury so much. Shooting a three ball is more like, to learn it, you have to be within rhythm, and it has to be a focal point. That stops you when you're having those ACL injuries back to back. You can't get the reps over and over and over. You can't get the reps up. So obviously your shooting is going to wane. Look at Steph Curry when he, I believe he hurt his ankle. And he came back that following season. It took him a while to get back to Steph Curry. He couldn't really shoot the ball as well. So that stops your development and understanding and getting that rhythm, that those reps that you would typically get throughout the season in practice and during the off season. That hurts it when you're spending the whole off season recovering, right? Like you're having another surgery, you're having another scope, so you can't be on the court for another month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months at a time. That wanes on you. So I think if he doesn't get hurt, I think he would have. I'm not saying he would have been. Nobody's going to be Steph Curry. That's a horrible example to make, but he would have been decent enough. I would say 34%, 33%. I think that's a great percent. A good enough percentage for you to be relevant in today's NBA.
I don't think that's below league average, right? League average is about 35.5. So like you at least want to be league average, especially as a guard. I don't know. I'm not trying to take shots at the guy. I'm just kind of asking the questions. So let's do this now. Let's name a few guys. Grant Hill, Derrick Rose, Penny Hardaway. Who else? Who else is a great player that had their career
Brandon Roy.
by injuries? Brandon Roy. Which one of them is the best if they stay healthy?
Ooh, boy.
Yeah.
Grant Hill. I would
that
say
is the
Grant
correct
Hill.
response.
Yeah, I would say
Gee,
Grant
what you
Hill.
got?
Yeah, I think by default I'll go with Grant Hill, but Derrick Rose in the era where the guards just wasn't that
Like that.
Yeah, they was.
Like we never saw that, right?
Yeah,
I agree.
yeah,
I agree with you there.
yeah.
Go ahead.
But for both of them though, I think they both came in the league when you hear people talking about them, them having like right hand, left hand, and Grant Hill a left hand, make all the moves, but his jumper wasn't there, right? They always said that, like, he could put the ball on the floor, but his mid range and the 3-point line wasn't that developed. So
I think that was gonna come, but I hate.
Yeah. And so,
but you say that for Grant Hill. We got to say it for Derrick Rose. We got to say it for Derrick Rose because you never know.
Can't say it for Derrick Rose because he was a point guard, and so he had assists. Like his assist game was still crazy too. But
I'm talking about the shooting. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go.
Oh, the shooting.
Go ahead. Yeah, I was talking about the shooting. Just strictly the shooting. Yeah, go ahead. Because you said developing shooting with Grant Hill.
No, I seen him.
I was thinking more the mid range, not the three.
But I really good threes, man. I seen him make some clutch threes, and so probably over time it kind of got away as he started coming off the bench and such. But just those things that happen. This is shoulda, woulda, couldas, and being subjective, saying who would have had a better career. We really don't know, bro. Like, really
but that's one of those things that you like to talk about, and just it's barbershop talk. It's sports podcast talk, and I also think it's Grant Hill because Grant Hill could lock you up defensively. Grant Hill could run the point forward. Like you said, other than the shooting, and I think the mid-range was probably going to happen, but obviously Grant Hill played in a time for most of his career before the 3-point revolution, right? He retired after the 2012 season. So the 3-pointer had started to become in vogue, but it still wasn't anywhere like it is now. So it's really hard to rate guys as shooters who played in an era where shooting wasn't paramount. You know what I'm saying? In terms of long range distance shooting. But yeah, I think it would have been Grant Hill, and that's no shot at the other guys. I think they're all outstanding in their own way, but I think Grant Hill was a monster because of the fact that he was better than all the other three on the other side of the ball as well. Like he could do all that, and then he could really strap up and lock guys down. I think that was huge. But yeah, man, Derrick Rose, special talent, just elite. In terms of his athleticism, his bounce was absurd, as we saw. But
crazy.
Derrick Rose was absolutely
like nobody's really doing back scratches, and like like at a point guard level. Like you see your power forwards. You know what I mean? Jesus Christ, Seattle Supersonics. Sean Kemp, like you see like cock it back because they had the length, they had the power,
right,
and the size on them. I mean, Derrick Rose was what 6'2", 6'3"? How tall was Derrick Rose? About 6'3", I believe.
6'2", I think. Yeah, I don't think he was particularly a big guard. Good point, Kyle.
He's listed at 6'3". Listed at 6'3", and like having it behind your head and having the ability to just throw it down because he don't really hang on the rim like that. I'm throwing it in the rim. And then I'm coming down like, come on, bro.
Right.
That's
I've often thought maybe he could have saved some of that impact on his knees if he would have hung on the rim a little more often instead of just banging it and then coming right down with all that force. Yeah. Power of a horror with our car. He says De'Aaron Fox and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, another example of success without being an outstanding 3-point shooter. SGA is 35% from 3 for his career. Looking at it right now, so. Yeah, just average. And De'Aaron Fox. I don't think he's elite either. But De'Aaron Fox is like elite speed. Like very few players can stay in front of that dude. He's 33% for his career from 3. But last season he shot 37%. So let's see if that continues to improve. But yeah, I get what you're saying, and that's a solid point. So D Rose, man, D Rose. It's gonna be. I mean, and it's the funny thing when I was researching this topic here, I was looking up his stats and stuff like that, and I was surprised to see that he averaged over 17 for his career because he did it quietly. And like you said, he had a number of seasons, 17, 18, 16, 18,
correct.
Following his knees getting destroyed. And I'm like, okay, yeah. And like, if you go watch his highlights, man, he was nice with the finishes, the reverses and the trick layups and all that stuff. Once he couldn't really, explode and throw it down the way he used to, it was very, very impressive. So I would say a great career, and we'll see where it takes him. But to your point, that MVP is probably going to get him into the Hall of Fame. So yeah, I agree.
I think without a doubt. I mean, because now the election process, you look silly. You're like,
right,
man, we got
like
every
he's the
MVP
only one
on here. We're gonna make one not be on there. Come on, man. You gotta keep him on there. You gotta put him in there.
Right. All right. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put the number in the chat: 904-219-8264. 904-219-8264. And now it's you guys' turn. You can go ahead and give us a call. The number's also scrolling on the bottom of the screen. You can give us a call and give us your thoughts on Derrick Rose. Should he be a Hall of Famer? Do you think he should? Do you think he'll get in? I think I don't think, but all three of us are in agreement that he will. Yeah. I'm the only one who thinks he probably shouldn't. So
but I think that's a different conversation though. Like, at that point, like I believe Snead said this, the standards are where they're at. Like they're just so low, right? Yeah. That you don't necessarily have to be a don't mean to bring him up like a LeBron James resume. Multiple championships, multiple MVPs, Kobe Bryant's, Tim Duncan's, and stuff like that. You consider that because you're thinking superstar. Yeah, like I carried my team for multiple years on a row. Finals appearances, maybe not necessarily wins, but multiple MVPs and things of that nature. That's what you kind of think of when you think of Hall of Fame. But the standards is just incredibly low, man. It's every MVP got it. Literally every MVP got it. Football doesn't have it that way. All the MVPs don't have it. No. So
football is a different ball game. I think Sean Alexander won MVP, right?
Yeah,
he won an MVP. He's not in the Hall of Fame. There you go.
Nope.
So,
speaking of football, man, while we're waiting on these phone calls to come in, Aston Genty has 1,000 yards under 100 carries. 1,000 yards. Aston, the running back out of Boise State.
Oh, yeah. That kid.
That kid is freaking running it right now. Right now he has 10 carries, 165 yards, 3 touchdowns in the football game right now. And I think they're in the second quarter. They're in the second quarter.
You know what you call that guy? What is it? A bowling ball full of butcher knives. Because like you watch, because he's like, short and stocky type build. Yeah. And when guys try to tackle him, he's running through the arm tackles. It's crazy. Yeah, he's a problem.
My partner just said this man is playing on rookie level Madden, running the football.
For real.
That's nuts, dude.
He's not playing the top competition, but he is nice.
He is killing whatever's in front of him.
And that's what you're supposed to do.
Whatever's in front of you.
Yep. That's right. Yeah, he's doing that. There's no question about it. Man. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, I guess we're not going to get any calls on this topic. So, all right, let's move on. So this is one that I've been thinking about for a long time, and I want to say I've been ducking it. I've been avoiding it, the WNBA topic, because it just, like, even today when I was trying to prep it and I was thinking about all the different things, I was like, this is really freaking exhausting. It really is. It's just so much. And that's why I titled it what I titled it on the thumbnail, WNBA drama, right? On the rundown here. And it's so much. I don't even know where to start, but let's do this. Before we even start with the WNBA, let me take you back, right? And I'm going to take you back to April of 1979. All right. Bear with me a minute. April of 1979. Anybody know what was special in the basketball world in April of 1979?
I wasn't alive.
I wasn't alive either.
I wasn't alive.
Oh, damn. I'm the only one that was alive. Okay. I mean, obviously, I didn't see it, but all right.
Hey, geez. What was relevant in 1979?
I'm gonna do your homework, man. I'm gonna tell you because obviously I didn't see it either. But in April of 1979, the most watched college basketball game of all time took place. Michigan State Spartans versus the Indiana State Sycamores for the national championship, featuring the one and only Irvin Magic Johnson, point guard for Michigan State, and Larry Bird, the small forward for Indiana State. Can
I pause you for a second?
Absolutely.
The fact that you put Magic's names first.
Yes.
I'm proud of you, bro. Thank you. Proceed.
Yeah. You know how I feel about Magic.
Yeah.
You know that.
I like that, though.
Yeah.
Absolute Larry Bird as well, man. All right,
absolutely.
Lakers Celtic pride. All right, go ahead.
No doubt. But nah, Magic.
Me too.
Man, you're gonna make me tear up, man. Magic, man.
Man, he put Magic's names first?
No. Yeah, absolutely. And plus, he was the winner, right?
Yeah, he was.
There you go.
Yeah,
so,
he was.
Right. So Magic Johnson and Michigan State play Indiana State and Larry Bird. And that to this day is the most watched college basketball game of all time. And obviously Michigan State wins the national championship. And both of these guys go on to enter the National Basketball Association and proceed through their rivalry to literally save the league. And then, of course, Michael Jordan comes later, takes it to a whole nother level. And then, of course, you got your Shaqs and your Kobes and your LeBron Jameses and so on and so forth, right? Cool. But why am I bringing up Magic and Bird? Why am I bringing those guys up? And we haven't talked about this, so you don't know where I'm going with this. But the reason that I'm say again.
No, I thought you was making us guess. I was gonna say rivalry, viewership, drama.
Yeah, all that. As a matter of fact, yes, all that plays a big role. What we got in the chat here? What does it say? Not sure how long he will last in the NFL, but it's tempting in the first round. Oh, okay. He was commenting on the kid from Boise State. Nah, you don't take him first round. If you can get him in the second,
not a running back.
Do that. No higher than second. Anyway, all right. So Magic and Bird, right? They come into the league, and so if I'm not mistaken, how old is the NBA now? About 78 years old, right?
They just had the 75 year about 3 years ago. Yeah.
Right. So they're about 78 years old. So that means the NBA's been around since the 1940s. Obviously, we know in the 60s, you had the great Bill Russell Celtics teams. You had in the late 40s, early 50s, you had the great Minneapolis Lakers teams, the predecessors to your guys. And you had the great St. Louis Hawks teams, et cetera, right? And then later on, of course, you have Wilt and the Sixers, Wilt and the Warriors, et cetera, Wilt and the Lakers, obviously great Lakers teams all throughout pretty much every decade. They were great at one point or another, and so on and so forth. But in the 1970s and in the 60s, like the NBA wasn't that popular, especially in the 1970s. The prevailing sentiment was what? The league was too black, too full of drugs, et cetera, et cetera. The league wasn't that popular. Now, does that mean that there weren't great players in the NBA who were doing their thing? That's not what that means, right? There were fantastic players in the NBA who were doing their thing. But that doesn't mean that it still had the mainstream appeal that people wanted to see. And I promise I'm going to get you there. I'm going to tell you where I'm going with all this. But that doesn't mean that there weren't great players in the league that that doesn't mean there weren't great players in the league and that the league didn't have a good product. But for whatever reason, it wasn't what people wanted to see. It wasn't that popular. So now we get back to 1979. We get back to Magic and Bird. And what do? They become a catalyst to the NBA, right? So a catalyst is a noun defined as an agent that provokes or speeds significant change or action. Okay. So Magic and Bird are a catalyst, basically a rocket ship that straps the league onto their backs, takes it into the stratosphere. The reason I'm bringing this up is because for years we've been hearing the WNBA players, WNBA media, hey, we need more attention. This is a great product. We need more attention. We got great players over here.
We need more money.
Right. Well, yeah. All right. We'll get to the money piece. Like they should have shut up on that. That's just dumb because I'll get to that. But, so you have all that going on. You have all that complaining happening, right? You have the WNBA saying, men, you need to do a better job of supporting us. Like, really? This is your game. How about you get on the women to support it more? Because men are supporting you. That's why your league is still around. But I digress. The point is, we've been hearing all of that throughout these years. Now, I am a player. Sorry, I'm not a player. I'm a guy who literally, I used to work in foot action on the corner of, around the year 2000, on the corner of 34th Street and 8th Avenue in Manhattan, in Manhattan, New York, which is one block over from Madison Square Garden where the Liberty played, right? And so I have been to New York Liberty games back then. I remember when the WNBA first came into existence. I used to watch, the Rockets with Cynthia Cooper and Cynthia Cooper and what's the other young Cheryl Swoops?
Fair Swoops.
Yeah, and that team that won 4 straight. And then I remember seeing Lisa Leslie, and then going for, like I said, I went to some games at the Garden, and then I remember going forward. I remember watching Maya Moore. I was a big fan of hers, right? I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm a WNBA historian, I'm a WNBA aficionado, all that. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that, right? I know I'm talking, but I'm getting somewhere, I promise. So the thing is this. There are a lot of people, I think, like that, and not necessarily purists, but people who just going to watch the game, what have you. So now back to Catalyst. Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese enter the WNBA, and they become what? Catalysts for the league to go to new places.
Yeah.
The league Caitlin Clark's popularity explodes, and it brings in a whole bunch of new fans. Now, many of them may not necessarily be basketball fans. Many of them may not necessarily be women's basketball fans, but what? They are Caitlin Clark fans, and at the end of the day, you always have a degenerate sector of any demographic. So you got some that are blatantly homophobic. You have some that are blatantly racist, and they're, tweeting and emailing and saying all type of vile stuff, which is absolutely terrible. And in no way do we condemn that, right?
Absolutely not.
The popularity of the league has increased a great deal, right? And I got some numbers on that I'm going to bring up later. But the popularity of the league has increased a great deal. And here's my thing. The WNBA players, the WNBA management, the WNBA media has been crying for attention for all these years. But it seems like they only want the attention that they want, the positive attention. And nowhere in life can you get one thing without the other. There's yin and yang, there's left and right, there's heads and tails, right? Nowhere in life can you get attention, but it's all good all the time. So did you not expect that with a market increase in attention, that some negativity was going to come with that? You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like that's the first thing, right? So, and I'm gonna give some numbers here, right? And it's not all Caitlin Clark, but if we're real, she's a huge part of it. And what's frustrating to me, you have a lot of people who, and realistically, a lot of Black people who I'm gonna say this, they feel that in order to be pro-Black, we have to attack Caitlin Clark for what some of her degenerate fans are doing. It doesn't have to be that way, right? Because that's not her. She's not asking them to do that, right? We can't blame that on her because some of her fan base are behaving in this way. That's not good, right? But anyway, for the regular season, nationally televised WNBA games averaged 657,000 viewers, the highest audience in 24 seasons. Televised games with Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever team averaged 1.18 million viewers compared to 394,000 for all other games. There's a bunch of other stats I could read you. I'm not going to do that. But the fact is, a rising tide lifts all boats. Now, there's a lot to it, but I'm going to take a break right now. And from what I started with, I'm going to get some of your thoughts on this. But basically, give me some feedback on why there seems to be just this, like, how do you have some people who are blaming Caitlin Clark for the behavior of some of her fans, and then secondly, how is it that how do you think the WNBA could have been asking for more attention all this time, but not understanding that with good attention also comes bad? You want to start, Transformer?
That's tough. That's tough. To blame someone for actions that I haven't shown right? So if I'm going out here and I'm a model citizen, you know, I'm a real estate agent here in Jacksonville, Florida. I'm a personal trainer here in Jacksonville, Florida, and you see nothing but outstanding, you know, help to the community and things like that. But the people that support me are all, let's just, you know, call spade a spade here, pro-black, F the white, F that other side, and that type of formula. But you see me, I'm very neutral when it comes to racial belief. I myself am a little mixed, so I will support both sides. But the actions from my fans now are predicated on me, right? How am I to blame, right? How can you sit here and blame someone for said actions of the community? I mean, not the community, but the fanship of what they're coming from. I don't agree with that. I think they're putting Caitlin Clark in a spotlight that she shouldn't be when she's just going out there and playing basketball, man. Caitlin Clark, she's not in the media like that. In a sense to where she's garnering for attention. She's very to herself. She's very to just, you know, pure basketball. I've seen a couple skits that she's done, you know, on Saturday Night Live, but that was post WNBA draft, you know, coming off of you know, 2 back-to-back years to where you made the championship. So and you're the next thing up as far as the WNBA is concerned to boost numbers. I just don't see how we're gonna put anything on Caitlin. It's unfair to her that, I mean, that's just the way her fan base is. I mean, that goes to show you that
we gotta make sure we're fair with that. A percentage.
Yes,
of her
some of her fan base. Thank you for correcting me.
Absolutely.
That some of her fan base was, but in a sense, I mean, we kind of know that that's out there, right?
Yeah.
There's certain states, certain cities. I believe we had this conversation the other day to where, you know, racism is still a big thing. It's still a big thing in that community, but it's just not addressed because it's not publicized the way it is. You know, you do have communities like that. You have community, and as far as a homophobic community, you have, you know, states that still don't allow that, still, you know, frown upon that. There's still certain laws there that they just don't agree with. But you can, I'm not going to sit here and necessarily point the blame at Caitlin Clark. I look at the aspect, and like you had numbers, I had similar numbers here. I'm looking at all the NCAA tournaments prior to Caitlin Clark. Yeah. The highest I've seen in the last 5 to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, a whole lot of years, right? The highest viewership was 4.1 million. 4.8 million. I stand corrected. 4.8 million. 2023, Iowa plays South Carolina. 5.6 million. Championship game, 9.9 million. All right, that was a championship game. 2024, Iowa plays UConn, 14.4 million. South Carolina plays Iowa, 18.8 million. What did you expect, WNBA?
Right.
What was the expectation?
I think maybe they weren't prepared for that exponential level of growth. That's the only thing I can come up with.
Yeah,
they wanted it, but they weren't prepared for it to happen the way it did.
Yeah, and it hit him like a bonfire to hell. I have just a little bit more numbers, and I'm gonna leave it at that. In her first NBA game in the WNBA playoffs, Indiana Fever Caitlin Clark helped generate 1.84 million viewers for Game 1 against Connecticut Sun. The Connecticut Sun, the most watched WNBA playoff game since the 2000 WNBA Finals. A few days later, in an elimination game between the Fever versus Sun, the ESPN, I believe is what they tried to say, averaged 2.54 million viewers for the most watched NBA game since 2000. You're getting what you want.
You're getting what you want.
You're getting what you want, right? You're getting the viewership. Everything is going in a trajectory where you've been begging for years, right?
Yes.
And that's hugely thanks to Caitlin Clark.
And can we be well? So let me say this. It's not just Caitlin Clark. Obviously, she's a major part of the growth.
Just a huge part. Yeah.
Right. So we got to be fair to all those other ladies who've been putting in work and been grinding.
Correct.
And
Asia Wilson.
I'm going to show you some Asia Wilson because she's a monster.
Absolutely.
And that's why I made sure to bring up a catalyst earlier, because because Caitlin Clark is the catalyst for the rapid expansion and growth of the WNBA doesn't mean that there weren't tremendous players and tremendous basketball being played in that league prior to her arrival. And I think that's where maybe people get this whole thing conflated. But G, what are your thoughts on this? And then I got some more stuff.
All right, so first of all, really good piece, guys. Y'all did an amazing job. It's hard to follow when y'all kind of hit almost every angle. You know,
so man, shut up. Let me talk.
This WNBA thing, man. But I look at it, I think part of it is political, right? Like part of it is definitely political. You look at them standing up and protesting against Trump, right? And then it fizzled out for a while. And then you got the Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese. Shout out to Caitlin Clark for winning the Rookie of the Year. I think she had something like 66 votes or something like that.
I think 66 out of 67.
One vote, and the other vote was Angel Reese.
Angel Reese should
have got more than that, but anyway.
Well, absolutely. But I mean, this stuff does still revolve around politics as well, especially when you're talking about the WNBA and women's rights, right? And so,
great point.
We look at the crazies, right? The Trumpeteers or whatever you want to call it, the crazies. We want to call them crazies, right? The people that send death threats and show at people's houses.
The Caitlin crazies,
yeah, and they kind of have the same resume as some of those guys that stormed the
Capitol
insurrection, right? January 6th insurrection. Maybe that's a reach, but from the same middle America, right, type deal. Where my last point is I don't think these women get paid enough to have to deal with some of the things that they're going through. There's a disparity in pay, but nothing is worth your life, right? Not your occupation. If it's to dribble a ball and somebody's coming to, you should at least, if that's the case, then somebody should at least be able to have a full security, right? If you're going to be in danger and you're Angel Reese or any professional football, basketball player, you should have some level of security, something there to protect you, right? Because you are an ambassador to that league. But they made so much money off these two young ladies, man, that that's the thing that's not being captured. They made a lot of money, and they pay them crumbs.
I'll get to that. Okay, all right.
The biggest increase they ever seen, but or maybe not, right? But they did just ink a deal, TV deal. I think it was worth like $2.2 billion or something like that. I might be wrong. You got the numbers in front of you.
They got a part of I think the number is right, 2.2 bill, but that comes from the TV deal that the NBA got, that $76 billion TV deal. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So what more can we say about this topic except that
Oh, I got more. Trust
why
me.
why do they have to? Well, why do they? I mean, man, it's stuff, man. It's wild, man. My daughter plays basketball.
Right.
She plays high school ball, and she plays soccer as well. And I look at like what she's walking into with when you say drama, right? That happens from the time that I'm gonna stop right there because I'm across the line.
I got you. All right, so let me say this, right? I appreciate both of y'all's sentiments, and I agree with the majority of it. But G, I'm gonna tell you this, and it may be unpopular. I'm so sick of hearing people complain that WNBA players don't make enough money.
Correct.
It's crap. It really is. And this is in no way denigrating their skill level. This is in no way denigrating the work that they put in. This is in no way denigrating the quality of basketball that they put on out there. Because many times, and I've said this, you can actually go back on my channel, whether it's y'all two or anybody listening. I did an interview with Derek Gibbs, who was the former head coach of the University of North Florida Ospreys women's basketball team, who I covered when I was in school there. And we've talked about these different things. And many times the women's ball game is more fundamentally sound than the men's game, right? They execute better. They run their stuff better. They have better fundamentals. Why? Because when stuff breaks down, they're not just relying on athleticism, right? So they have to know what they're doing more so than their male counterparts. Now, that said, I want to make sure that I give credit to the work that these women put in. I want to give credit to their skill level, to their effort, to their determination, to their love of the game. Now, all that said,
how can you say that? And
it's nonsense when anyone complains about WNBA players.
You can think two girls make more money in college than they did in the WNBA. Like, how can you say that?
Well, that doesn't.
They made more money in
I'm about
college.
to break it down though, because that money comes from a totally different source, right? So let's watch this now. WNBA has been in existence for 28 seasons now, correct? What business do you know that can last 28 years, never turn a profit, and still be in existence? Do you know why the WNBA is still in existence? The same people complaining that men should do a better job of supporting the WNBA, the NBA carried the WNBA and still does. For all of the attention and higher level of income that the WNBA has received and will receive for this season, they're still not going to turn a profit yet. They may next year, they may the year after that. Cool. But what business you know that's going to be in the red for 28 years and still be a viable business? If not for the NBA carrying them, the WNBA no longer exists. So one, they got to stop this. Men need to do a better job of supporting the WNBA because clearly that happens. Well, not even just in the stands, but yes, you're right. But not even just that. If not for the WNBA been done. So we got to be 100 on that. And two, the other problem is that this, the league, the league just, it wouldn't even be there anymore. So with that, the business is consistently in the red. It doesn't draw enough money to pay the women players more.
Precisely.
You don't have to be an economist or a financier to understand that. That's very basic. As the game grows and as the money continues to increase, they will get more money. Not saying they don't deserve it. Deserving it and getting it, two different things. They deserve it. Again, for their skill level, for their effort, for their hard work, for their love of the game, everything that they give to the game of basketball, they deserve it. I totally got it. But it's just not there to pay them more. So we got to stop this foolishness of listening to this narrative. WNBA players need to get paid more. Now, back to the original topic, right? So yeah, go ahead.
I think from a college perspective, you should have to worry about, oh man, if I get drafted this year, right? Like if I get drafted, I'm gonna lose. I don't even know what the salary is of a WNBA.
Mm-hmm. No, I get it.
270, something like that. Something crazy.
I get it. It's just the money. The money comes from a different place. So that's why they can do that. So G, you mentioned if you know anything about basketball, WNBA or not, now you know that Caitlin Clark was a near unanimous WNBA Rookie of the Year. She had an incredible season. And let me say this first because it's huge. She set the record for most turnovers in a season, set the record for most turnovers, I think, in a WNBA debut game. She had 10. I think she had the highest turnover average ever. Like she was terrible in terms of protecting the basketball. And as a point guard, that's one of the most important things you need to do, right? So I want to make sure I make that clear. Now, that said, she also had an incredible year. She won Rookie of the Year, as I said, all rookie team, most points by a point guard in one season in NBA history, most double-doubles by a rookie guard in the WNBA history, most points by a rookie WNBA history, most assists by a rookie WNBA history, first WNBA rookie to record 2 triple-doubles, first triple-double by a rookie WNBA history, first player in WNBA history to be named Player of the Month and Rookie of the Month in the same month, first player with 20 points, 15 assists, and 5+ rebounds in a game, 4-time Rookie of the Month, 3-time Eastern Conference Player of the Week, WNBA rookie single season scoring record, WNBA single season record for assists, WNBA single season rookie record for assists, WNBA single season rookie record for 3-pointers. As you can see, like
that's an extensive resume, man.
Extensive resume, right? So I totally get it, Rookie of the Year and all that. But see, here's the problem, right? For all the stuff she did, we have the other problem with certain segments of the media kind of causing dissension, right? So remember when she was still in college, you had Diana Taurasi's comments talking about like reality is coming or something to that effect. Before she came out, and they took it and ran with it. Oh, Diana Taurasi is this and her, she's downplaying her game. No, she was just saying, like any other league, when you come into the league, you might have dominated in college, but now you're playing with grown-ups now. This is real deal. This is nobody's got to go to class, nobody's got to study for exams. This is people. This is what they do all day, every day to feed their families, right? So this is a totally different situation. And we saw so much of the difficulty Caitlin Clark had in terms of getting used to the physicality, in terms of getting used to the defense, in terms of trying to figure out how and where to get her shot off, not being able to take all those logo threes that she took in college, not having that super green light to do whatever she wanted to do. And you have, some fake narratives pushed by members of the media saying that, oh, the players in the WNBA were jealous and they hate Caitlin Clark because she's white, because she's heterosexual, because she's getting attention. No, it's not that, right? Nobody, I don't think I wouldn't even say any of those women were jealous or they hated Caitlin. That's not true. I think they were just saying, hey, we've been here all the time, right?
Welcome.
We've been, well, that too, right? They gave her the welcome that rookies get when they go into a league of professional athletes.
And I think that doesn't get talked about enough. That's where the conversation should end.
I think
honestly
so.
Where it should end.
I think so.
If you watch sports good enough or long enough, and you see the next talent coming out of high school, when they get to college, what do you think they're doing in college?
Right.
Well, come on, freshman.
Hey, freshman.
You're going to get beat up.
Yes.
You're getting beat up. Fresh meat is what they used to call it. Fresh meat.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
It's the same thing for professional sports. You come from college and you were that guy in college. Okay, yeah. You were the man. Okay, bet.
All right.
Welcome.
But you think you're going to walk in here?
So welcome to reality. Like, I think and they're taking competitive nature or things that's been going on for years. It's fresh meat. Like, bro, you're in my house now.
That's right.
Listen, I've been here already. I've built I've established myself. I'll be damned if you come up in here, you start raining threes from the 30 feet. I'm gonna chin check you, shoulder check you. But what player? I'm trying to remember. It wasn't Iverson, but somebody tried to do the between the legs. It was against a player. I can't remember the name, but he tried to throw it between the legs in an NBA game, and bro just clotheslined him and said, "Nah, not here.
We're not doing that.
Not here. This ain't college, bro.
Yeah,
this ain't
you're not gonna be out here trying to have people look stupid.
We're not gonna do that." And I think that treatment is being confused with jealousy and hate.
Yes.
We've been doing that for years, man.
That's
now,
right.
Next, second, third season, it's gonna dull down. Like, okay, you earned your stripes, girl. Right. Welcome to the league. You know what I mean?
Now we still not gonna let you do just whatever you want to do out here, but
precisely.
You earned your stripes, right? So Nino says it was a mix of jealousy in there. And Nino, I'm going to disagree. I don't think that was the case. I think, again, there's a slight difference, right? There's some frustration in that they're saying, hey, we've been grinding here all this time. And it took, her coming in. And now you want to pay attention to us? We're going to show you that she's not what you think she is. And again, I think there's nothing wrong with her being a catalyst. We talked about a catalyst earlier. But that doesn't mean that the other players that have been putting in work all this time weren't outstanding players, right? I mentioned Maya Moore. I think Maya Moore is one of the best female basketball players I've ever seen.
Probably my favorite, yeah.
Yeah, and realistically, I think Juju Watkins is like the next evolution of Maya Moore. You know what I'm saying? I think she's that. And boy, Juju.
When she gets to the league, bro, watch out, bro.
Man,
I can't wait. I'm definitely tuning in more. I mean, I watch WNBA now. But I'll when she gets there, I'm too. That Caitlin Clark game against Juju Watkins is going to be.
Oh, that's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. And so, so the next thing is
games until Caitlin get pregnant. It's all fun and games until Caitlin get pregnant.
And she'll miss a year. She'll have her kid. She'll get back in shape and she'll come back. Skylar Diggins-Smith did it. She won't be the first or the last. It's no thing. That's what women do.
She got about 2 championships, I think, 2 or 3.
I think 2. I want to say 2.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So next up, right? I've heard some people talk about how journalists, the media, is partly to blame for all this. And yes, there's some blame to be had, right? But my problem is this, right? Only purists don't understand that storylines are part of sports. And I think I talked about this with you guys. Storylines are key to sports because most fans are not purists. The leagues don't market themselves to purists. The leagues market themselves to the casual fan because there's way more of them, right? So when you look at the purist is looking at the X and O's. The purist is looking at movement. Purist is looking at skill set. Whereas, is when the player is driving, do they have their shoulder at hip level of the defender? They're looking at the footwork when they drop step, when they reverse pivot, so on and so forth. We talked about
in between the lines. Yep.
Right. Purist is looking at all that, but the average fan or the average viewer, listener, whatever, is not paying attention for that. And so storylines are how we bridge. Yeah, we did talk about this. Storylines are how we bridge the game for the average / casual fan. And I think it's important to understand that that's necessary. And I'm going to go back to the Magic Johnson and Larry Bird example, right, that we talked about earlier. Mm. As great as those guys were as players, we know, I don't know where you guys have them. I have both of them in my top 5 all time. I think most people have them in their top 10. Wherever they fall, that's fine, right? You guys have Magic and Bird in your top 10 all time?
Top 10, Magic? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. You have Bird in there? Top 15, though? Top 15, though?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Cool.
Yes.
So, I mean, regardless, top 15 out of 5,000 players who've ever played, like, that's still pretty damn good, right?
Yeah.
Okay, G, I'm fine.
Steph Curry?
No, he said top 30. I have
top 30. Gotcha.
I have them both in my top 5, but so be it. That said, as great as they were as basketball players, it would be nonsensical for us to believe that the storyline had nothing to do with how they connected with the fan base. It also would be ridiculous for us to believe that the storyline had nothing to do with how they were able to lift the league. Because remember, we talked about how they matched up in the national championship game, and that was a huge thing. And then Bird goes to Boston, right? The blue collar, hardworking East Coast town. Magic goes to LA, Showtime, glitz and glamour. And both towns perfectly fit these guys' personalities, right? And then as such, the way they played basketball on their respective teams, it all fit perfectly. So the story all comes together, right? So the storyline, I'm not going to say it's just as important as what happens between the lines, but it's a major part of it. And that's what the NBA was able to sell. That's what the NBA media was able to sell. And it all helped to take the NBA to the place that we see it in now, right? And so storylines are important. Now, when you use storylines and narratives to lie and come up with stuff that's not true to push something, that's something totally different. But we can't act like storylines are not a part of sports and they won't always be, right? I think that's super important. So now the next part of this, I know this is a long segment, but the next part of this, I told you it's got a lot of tentacles. So we recently saw Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever get eliminated, I think, in the first round of the playoffs by, was it the Connecticut Sun? I believe
Connecticut Sun.
Right. And so one of the big things in the elimination game in game 2, Dejanay Carrington, the main defender on Caitlin Clark, I guess was going for a strip. Let me see, I got it here. She was going for a strip and she comes down and basically she catches Caitlin Clark in the eye. Now, to me, I could be wrong. It looked like she deliberately raked her. Look at this from the angle. I think she deliberately got her in the eye. I think that probably could have been avoided. An elbow, I'm okay with, even a trip, whatever. But you deliberately go into someone's eye, like, I don't think that's cool. G, you making a face. Did that look deliberate to you or not?
No, I didn't.
Say again?
It didn't. It looked like she was defending the ball and a hand came down.
Okay. I mean, we've seen people defend the ball time and time.
It wasn't like a straight jab. It was just like she turned.
We've seen a lot of people contest shots throughout the years, and I don't know how many times I've seen somebody go in somebody's eye, but cool. So in my estimation, and again, I could very well be wrong. That's very possible. It looked to me like it was intentional. But regardless, after the game, longtime sports journalist Christine Brennan, she writes for the USA Today, and she is widely regarded as an outstanding, well-researched, fair sports journalist, and she is a big advocate of women and women's sports, right? Cool. So she was doing her job as a journalist. She was interviewing Dejanay Carrington, and she specifically asked her, hey, did you deliberately, she didn't say you did, why did you, no, she asked, did you deliberately poke Caitlin Clark in the eye? And she was like, no, why would I do that? She said, cool. So then there was a part later in the game, like in the fourth quarter, where Dejanay Carrington and her teammate appeared to be poking someone in the eye and laughing. Now, it was later explained by those two that they were doing the Carmelo 3 to the dome. I don't know how that, but whatever. So that's what they said. So I can only go by what they said. But the point is, Christine Brennan asked that question. Yeah, the WNBA is more physical than the NBA. You're absolutely right, G. So Christine Brennan asked that question, and apparently it set off the WNBA Players Association, which I thought was totally absurd. Now, listen to this. She says, but we will, so the WNBA Players Association made an IG post and it said, but we will take this moment now to stand up for them and the rest of our members, every single one of them, because we call BS to unprofessional members of the media like Christine Brennan. You are not fooling anyone. This so-called interview in the name of journalism was a blatant attempt to bait a professional athlete into participating in a narrative that is false and designed to fuel racist, homophobic, and misogynistic vitriol on social media. You cannot hide behind your tenure. You have abused your privilege and do not deserve the credentials issued to you. And you are certainly not entitled to any interviews with members of this union or any other athlete in sport. We call on USA Today Network to review its principles of ethical conduct for newsrooms and address what we believe is a violation of several core principles, including seeking and reporting the truth. USA Today Sports should explain why a reporter with clear bias and ulterior motives was assigned to cover the league. We also urge the league to review its policies and take measures to prevent such issues, protecting the integrity of the game and its players. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? She didn't accuse Dejanay Carrington of anything. She asked the question.
She asked a question.
Yeah. Worth their salt would ask. Did you? Not why did you? Not I saw you. What were you thinking? Did you? Right? She asked the question because one of the things that a journalist is supposed to do is be a bridge, a conduit between the fan and the athletes and the coaches, right? The sport and the fan, because the fan doesn't have direct access to get the information that they want. So the journalist has to ask those questions for the fan. And so I'm sure there are lots of fans out there wondering, did you do that on purpose? So the journalist is going to ask. And again, Christine Brennan, widely regarded sports writer, longtime USA Today employee, award winner, and champion of women's sports. Why would she go out there and try to, come on, man? This is absurd. And this is why I titled this thing WNBA Drama. And there's so much going on. I can't understand this. And when I tell you, just prepping this segment was exhausting for me. And I'm getting
tired. Sounds like it.
Bro, it's a lot. It's a lot. You know? I mean, come on, man. Blatant attempt to bait a professional athlete in participation of a narrative that is false and designed to fuel racist, homophobic, misogynistic vitriol.
All I asked was, did you poke in the eye?
Thank you. Thank you.
Wait, did I say what color the bra she had on?
Yes,
Did you try to poke in the eye?
Yeah,
it could have been part of your gameplay, man. Get that girl out of here.
Right. This is absurd. Absolutely absurd. So, this is the stuff that's frustrating me. This is what tells me, you being the WNBA were not prepared for the rapid growth that you so desperately craved. It's coming to you, but you think that everything's going to be, rainbows and sunshine. And it's not like that. Everything in life has two sides. So with the good of the rapid growth is going to come some negativity. And so apparently,
was that the entire story, or was it just a sound, or was it just that one question? Because very rarely do they just ask one question.
So she asked that question, and then she asked the follow-up of, were you and your teammate laughing at Caitlin Clark getting poked in the eye? She asked the follow-up, right? So first she said, no, I didn't deliberately poke her in the eye. And then she said, again, were you and your teammate laughing about her getting poked in the eye? So those are the two questions that she asked Dejanay Carrington. And so obviously you see it started that firestorm. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? This is absurd. It's absolutely.
Do you think this is a ploy for us?
Do what?
I'm just trying to think here because, of course, Caitlin Clark got eliminated. So now you don't have anything else to say. Like Caitlin Clark can't carry you for the rest of the season.
No.
But now do you think that there's a ploy for we to have this conversation? Okay, now we got something to talk about. Let's make this more drama because I tell you all the time, leagues thrive off drama, viewership. Yes. People love drama. All the reality shows and things like that. Drama is cooking. Caitlin's eliminated, but if we have her in some type of drama, some type of conversation, now we can still get the views, still get the clicks, still get the mentions, still have the conversations. Do you think that is possibly something else that's happening?
So honestly, I can't speak for anyone else, but I don't think so. And the reason why is because it's a women's league, right? So they don't want to feed into the stereotypes of women being drama filled or women being full of emotion. they want to sell their league and market their league on the quality of their players and the quality of their play. And I respect that. And so I want to believe that they wouldn't take that cheap route and say, hey, drama sells, right? I want to believe that because it would feed right into a lot of negative stereotypes about women. That's my thought.
We have a lot of drama in the NBA and NFL and stuff like that too. So women don't stray too far.
I understand what you're saying. I do, but don't you think that it would be taken differently where women are involved? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because of the stereotypes. I
can see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I think. G, what do you think? You think maybe this is, trying to hook for more attention?
Completely off base.
Nah, I don't. I think
I don't think so either.
Yeah, I don't think so.
It was just a question. Because I started thinking about it. I'm like, wait, Caitlyn is eliminated, right? Okay. All right. So how can we keep Caitlyn in conversation now that she's gone?
Like Caitlyn needs a break.
Yeah, she does. The girl earned it. The girl earned the break.
And listen, if we're real, she needs a break. We can let her live, and let's pay attention to this young lady, the recently crowned, 3-time MVP now, A'ja Wilson, who is an absolute monster. And, watching her play, she's got it all. She got the mid-range. She can shoot the three, dominant in the post. Look at that. Boom. Got you. Look, step through. Love it.
Look at that. Straight dream shake.
Right? You know what I'm saying? A'ja Wilson has it all. She is so deserving of MVP. I think averaged 27 and 12 this year, 2.5 blocks, most rebounds in the season. Ooh, get that out of here. Not today. She should finger wag. But yeah, most rebounds in the season in WNBA history. Most points in the season
broken
in
by
WNBA
A'ja Reese. Couldn't let her live.
Well, Angel Reese got hurt, remember?
Yeah,
and so
I'm just saying, like, it was just broken by A'ja Reese. Yeah.
Well, was she supposed to stop rebounding? She's like, nah, hell no. But no, Angel Reese is without a doubt the best women's player in the world. Like, she's that freaking good. And so I'm watching her, A'ja Wilson. Thank you. I'm watching her earlier today, and then going through, and I'm looking for B-roll for this segment and all that, and I'm watching different stuff, and I found myself watching like entire quarters of her playing. She reminds me a lot the way she plays of a female David Robinson. And it doesn't hurt that she's also left-handed, right? So she's a dominant shot blocker, dominant rebounder, can play the post, can put it on the floor, has the mid-range all the way out to three. She is a lot like a female David Robinson. Like, her skill set is super, super complete. And I think even though she's a 3-time MVP, like, you watch that little clip that I put there, and I think, a lot of that is the frustration that many of these WNBA players are feeling, because they're like, yo, we've had these types of players all this time, but you weren't paying attention. But again, just because sometimes you need a catalyst doesn't mean that the players before weren't great. And so I think that's the kind of the last piece that I had on that. But it's something I've been listening to so much commentary on this thing. And honestly, I've been ducking the topic because I'm like, there's so much going on. And I'm sure there's a whole ton of stuff I didn't even get to in regards to the WNBA and the different things going on. But I had to get this stuff off my chest, and I had to really go ahead and address it. So that's all I have on this topic. And I will let you guys give your finishing thoughts before we open it up and hopefully get a couple calls on it.
Well, I wanted to say, the first step in therapy is just letting it all out.
Yes, sir.
Letting it all out, telling the truth, being forefront, being honest, it's therapeutic. Like, now you can breathe. I saw your shoulders. Like, first you start off the show like this. Like, as more you let more out, like, it started lowering down. Eventually, you stop banging over your mic. So I mean, you finally got it out off your chest, man. So I'm glad you did it. But no, seriousness, man.
Yes,
I hate this for Caitlin Clark. That's from the beginning topic. That it's being things are happening that she can't control. Like, you can't control the actions of your fans. You can't control the actions of people. I mean, some of your fans. I'm not gonna say all of your fans, but some of your fans that act in a certain way. She can come out and just say, I don't condone that behavior.
And
what more can she do? I mean,
right.
that's what more can she do? I can't physically go out here and stop millions of Americans from doing this, from thinking this way, from saying this, from publicly coming out in this regard. So, you know, I just feel bad for her, man. I just say, you know, tell her to continue to keep balling, keep doing what she's doing. She's doing a great thing for her sport. She's going to be, like I said, she is a catalyst, and what I think it is a growing league. The numbers show it, and you know, for the second part, I don't think it's jealousy. I think that the WNBA is going to embrace her next year. Now it's going to be like, hey, you know, last year you're a rookie. We just want to show you it's going to be tough out here. You know what I mean? So, and I think that's a tone that's going to be changed next year. So it's just allowing it the time. Juju Watkins comes in next season. I'm proud. I'm
next
happy
season. After next season, I think she's got to play at least 3 years.
Okay, last year was her freshman season. That's right. So. You know, but still, you know, I think they're heading in a great direction, man. A better direction, I'll say. You know, with what they're doing, and now we, you know, because nobody knew who A'ja Wilson was, and nobody knew she was a back-to-back champion like that.
The purists knew, right?
The purists knew, you know what I mean? But like
that's not
the viewership finally got wind of it. Like now you go back, you look at her highlights, like God dang, man, that girl's tough. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think it's good, man. It's good.
Yeah. One thing I forgot, and then I'll get to you, G. People are complaining about the racist, you know, tweets and posts online and all that. And of course, you're never going to advocate for that. That's degenerate behavior in my estimation. That's terrible. But unfortunately, like with fame and notoriety, that stuff is going to come too. And so do we really think that both Larry Bird and Magic Johnson didn't get a ton of racist mail sent to the Lakers and sent to the Celtics back then? No, there was no email and no tweeting, but like people would write into newspapers with that stuff. People would, you know, find your address and send it to your house. People would send it to your organization. So let's not act like this is new stuff. Yeah, they shouldn't have to deal with that, but that's part of what comes with the rise in notoriety. It is what it is. And again, you shouldn't have to deal with it, but that's part of it. And that's one of my biggest things, man. You can't want more attention, but expect that the attention is all going to be good. Gee, go ahead, man.
I don't know how I feel about this topic. It says WNBA drama everywhere, right? Yes. It's just one person's view on what the WNBA is compared to what it really is. These girls, these ladies should definitely get paid more money. There's no way you're gonna tell me that they fill in seats all across the country. Everybody's going to these games, and in places where they're not even really a bunch of superstars. They're showing up. The viewership has went up. The ticket sales has went up, and you know they supported, or when they went to the Olympics, they did their thing. You said that you know when you have your last point that you made in reference to my original point of them, they should have security for them. This is you selling tennis shoes. They sell tennis shoes. I mean, your name, you on TV, but you can't afford to pay these young ladies a suitable salary. So now,
the league is not selling tennis shoes.
Of course not the league. But I'm just saying the endorsements are there, but the endorsements isn't the same as it would be if that was a male. What I'm saying is like there should be things in place so that they can. Let me go back. Let me take a step back. When these two young ladies was in college, right? Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, right? When they was in college, they was making what was their NIL deals? It was a ridiculous amount of money. Yeah, like $3 million, right? Yeah. And then you join this rinky dink ass league, and they only paying you like a fraction of that, right? Like you still bringing in all these, the views are still there, like all these people still showing up at this game, but now you telling me like, oh well, this is the price, this is what it costs to play this game. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just not the same, right? Like, and to say that because they haven't spun a profit, that it's just their fault. Like I don't agree with
that's economics, bro.
I don't agree with the way it's set up in this design. And I think that Caitlin Clark could have came out day one and kind of condemned those statements and people pulling up and push up. But she didn't. She waited and then decided to do it, you know, after all the pressure was like, you need to say something.
But I don't like the money just got, like the viewership just got here. You know what I mean? I think that comes with a new
No.
CBA. I mean, not CBA. They probably call it something different, but a new meeting with the headboard on, you know, what we get paid and things like that. The deals are just now starting to cook. I mean, if you can't, I can't pay you if I'm not myself making a profit. I think that's
I don't know where the money's supposed to come from.
Tell me what the amount of viewership they had this year. The amount of viewership they had this year that they can't like do spot bonuses. And it's not every team, because we see the aces who's been winning. They pay their players, right? They pay their players. But these other teams, for whatever reason,
the city of Las Vegas gives them money on top of their WNBA salaries. So again,
they value them. That's what I'm saying.
Outside money, right? So we can't blame the WNBA for that. We can't say WNBA players should get paid more until the WNBA gross profit margin increases. They can't pay the players more until they get bigger TV deals. They can't pay the players more. Like, where's the money going to come from?
I'm always going to advocate for, you know, people to get paid.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, but it's just like, how am I going to pay you?
That's fine, but
I understand what thing is going on. It does. I mean, it's going somewhere. The money is going somewhere. The money that they generate
to get us out of the red
somewhere.
Right.
To get us out of the red.
Right.
Man.
They've been in the red for 28 years. The NBA is the only reason the WNBA still exists. But it's all good.
I think it's a pretty bad situation to walk into, right? Like, you go from making say 3 to 5 million in NIL deals, and now it's like, oh yeah, do I play basketball or do I just go do something else? It's something you've been doing your whole life, and I don't know, man. I know there was some. I think Caitlyn sold her likeness for like $5 million or something, or Steph was trying to buy from her. Somebody was trying to give her like $5 million for her. But like everything that she's done so far, like her name and all that stuff, they was trying to pay her out. There's something that I read that's happening, and so there's people around her, like your boy, what's his name? I can't even think of his name, man. The dude that Stephen A. called to be. What's his name?
Whitlock.
What's his name?
Whitlock. Jason Whitlock.
Yeah, he said he said she was. Yeah, he said she's like Kunta Kinte.
That was crazy. That was a crazy
man. Jason Whitlock says some interesting things.
But that's a hard stretch.
A big stretch. I wouldn't. That's not even worth addressing to me. I think it's so absurd. Yeah, he's not always wrong, but that was an absurd.
Sometimes, man, like sometimes, and I'm jumping towards a different subject, but sometimes these media folks, man, they be reaching, bro.
Yes, that's correct.
They be reaching, man, and
that's correct.
It's like there is no QA, right? Like, or if there is, like, we can't like get bent out of shape when somebody believes that somebody is like overstepping their bounds and doing too much, right? We can't because that dude was doing too much, man. Like, that's too much.
I'm with you. Yeah. No,
but that's all I got on that topic, man. I don't really have anything else. Just
all right.
You know, it's the WNBA. We got some really good basketball. You said Juju, she get in. She gonna cook the league for a little bit. And interesting to see how everybody come back, man.
Yeah, it's also interesting. It's going to be interesting to see, to your point, like, what does Caitlin Clark do to improve this offseason? Does she continue to get physically stronger? Does she become a better defender? Because right now she plays no defense. She's like a cone. Does she put work into becoming a defender? Does she put work into breaking her tendencies in terms of like always dribbling left for that off the dribble 3-point pull up, right? Does she get better in pulling up, going right, et cetera, et cetera? She's still an outstanding passer, but teams are going to start making defenses to cut off her passing lanes. So she's going to have to, you know, further work on her vision and pass better with both hands in different spots on the floor. So, you know, this is it. Great rookie year, but now let's see if she gets any better. Right now, I'm going to put the number in the chat, 904-219-8264. I know we don't have very many people listening. For those of y'all who stayed with me, I know it was a lot, but I had to go ahead and put that out there. But yeah, give us a call. It's scrolling on the bottom as well, 904-219-8264. If you have any thoughts on this WNBA Caitlin Clark topic, I'd love to hear from you.
Yeah. While we're waiting, I had a piece that I just saw that I just pulled up that, you know, kind of will make G feel a little bit better. This summer, the NBA and WNBA agreed to the new media's right deal with ESPN, NBC, and Amazon Prime Video beginning in the fall of 2025. For the men in the summer, men and the summer of 2026 for the women. The deal will at least triple the value of the WNBA's current one and potentially could be roughly 6 times larger. This means the WNBA will have a lot more money to pay their players. On an average salary, Caitlin Clark's salary is $200,000 per season, and she just signed a Nike deal that's reported $28 million. So the tide is coming. I think, with the viewership, and now that you have, sponsor deals that the WNBA can eat off of, like, okay, now we have more money coming in to help us. Now we can pay y'all. Like, it's not just, we don't want to pay y'all. It's like, man, we're borrowing money right now to keep this thing afloat. Like, I can't pay you more when I'm already borrowing from the NBA and what they're doing over there. So that's what I think. To more on the lines, that's what Bruce meant by the NBA is carrying WNBA, because the WNBA has been borrowing money for so long that the WNBA is in the red. They still owe. Now I got to try to figure out how to pay y'all more. That's what it's just not realistic at the moment. But 2025, 2026 look like the tide is turning, thanks to the elevation of women's basketball. So
yep. Nino, what's good, man? What you got?
What's good? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah, man. I disagree with mostly, like 90% of everything y'all saying as far as the economical things. Like, they gotta get out the red, and for the most part, I don't think a lot of people understand that the business side of things. Like, it's a good thing that Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese is getting all the publicity. That don't mean that they are the best players, the top players in the league. I think people are always confused. But just because you're the best player, you should be getting the most. That's not how marketing works.
No,
I don't think the women were prepared for that. And the only thing I tell you where I said that I see envy is, I don't think it's malicious like most people saying, like, oh, she tried to bump her. That's basketball. I'm not saying really far as the players on the court. I'm speaking for most some players on the court that's been there, and a lot of old players. I look at it, I use this, like, if you built a house, right? I don't even know what it takes to build a house. You built the whole house except for the roof. And I come put the roof on there, and everybody just like the roof so much. Everybody like, oh, Nino did the roof. It's going to be something in your spirit that's like, wait a minute. This MF, I've been did all this work.
Right.
And you come in, now they just talking about, and the crazy part is, it's a lot of them women better than Caitlin Clark, and it's true. Like, she a rookie, and she better.
That's true.
So I think the envy, especially like Enrique, he's so underrated. But
from Dallas.
From Dallas.
Yeah, Enrique Agubinwale. Yeah, she's a problem. She is a bucket.
And we know what Adrian Wilson is. If it was about talent, Adrian Wilson would have been had the same like fans as Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. So it's more to it. That's why I say the jealousy part. I don't think it's like, I'm not trying to say they malicious. They, like, people say they're trying to hurt us if she get a bump or a hard foul. That's basketball. I'm just saying it's something in their spirit, in your spirit, go just be like, wait a minute. You can see it from the older players. You see it in the NBA. Shaq said, well, it was Rudy Gobert making Shaq money. He might have some facts about it, but it's still where we from. We call that hatred. You can't just.
I don't think that's hatred, though.
This man making that money.
I don't think that's hatred.
You can't be mad he's making that money.
No, but
saying the players and it isn't showing.
To your point, though, you like, but see, what Shaq says is in regards to Gobert. Remember, he said, "You make it 250 million. Show me 250 million." That's what he said. It's not. I'm mad that you're getting 250 million. It said, "Show me why you're getting 250 million." I'm not mad at that.
It's the same. He tried. If Rudy Gobert wasn't trying, he's trying to play. It's not his fault that they gave. That's the market that he can get that money. It's not his fault. That's what I'm saying. That's what makes Shaq a little hater.
I don't think,
because he knows if he was playing in this time, as young as he was, he'd be making LeBron and Steph money 50 a year. It's the time that you played in, Shaq. You was making more money than Wilt now.
Yeah, no doubt. No, I think
he's saying he earned that dollar.
Right. He's
like
saying
I earned the highest pay.
Right.
Like,
it's not that you're making more than me. If you're a max player, play like a max player.
Play like
That's
a max
how
player.
I took it.
Yeah. That's how I took it as well.
I understand. What I'm saying is, that's why I say I understand what he's trying to say. But it don't come off as hatred if you talk about this man.
Well,
now you can just say, hey, he ain't playing like he's supposed to play. When you go talk about he making this much money, he need to be doing this. Like, y'all lying. Well, I think the women is blowing it. I think y'all saying it. I love the Magic and Bird comparison. Bird, they doing the groundwork, but they trying to knock Magic and Bird off before MJ comes. Because Juju on the way now.
Yeah, yes,
the game's
indeed.
Gonna keep going. The eyes is gonna keep going.
I agree.
But they trying to, because I think the only reason they don't like. I mean, I don't think the only reason why you don't see as much talk about Angel Reese is because they got Kaden Clark. Because I don't think they like Angel Reese making that much money. If she making either, but they got Kaden Clark to fall back on. Just wait till Juju them get in.
Yeah,
and that
man.
money come in. You're gonna really see something. But for the most part, I agree with 90% of what y'all saying, man. Love the show.
Man, I appreciate you always.
No
Always,
LeBron
Nino.
for the night. No LeBron.
Don't speak of thy
thy
name, man. Don't speak of thy name. Don't speaketh
Hey.
thy name. It starts a conversation. It's like saying Voldemort and Harry Potter. All right, we don't. Thou
He
who
whose
shall
name
not
should
be
not be-
named.
Right.
And that was my last. This is my last bone to pick. Now,
Okay.
why is Baltimore and Cincinnati at the bottom? And we already talked about the Steelers. I mean, come on now, we gotta do better, fellas. Why is Baltimore down there at the bottom?
You know
we
what?
Gotta do better.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair, Nino. All right, man. I appreciate you so much, man. Thank you for calling, man.
Oh, yeah.
All right, later. Man, Nino always got great calls, man. That dude, I love it. Yeah,
Funny, man. Funny,
super
funny.
supportive, man. He's a good guy. Good guy. All right. So I don't think we're gonna get any more calls on this. I would be willing to bet that. But let's go ahead. Let's get to the last topic, man. Let's do this. Whew. You're right, man. I feel a lot better now. I finally.
Tell me, so you was like this in the beginning of the show, bro.
I'm trying to tell you, man. This thing's been been weighing on me and irritating me for like a couple months now, and I've been like ducking and dodging. But it's just a major story in the sports media right now. I'm like, I have to address this. So there we go. All right. Ravens and Bengals. This is arguably the other best game of the weekend, right? So obviously we have Pittsburgh and Dallas, and we've got Ravens and the Bengals. So let's go ahead and let's talk about that. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to let my main man G go ahead and kick that off. G.
He been itching for it. Like,
Ravens and Bengals,
Ravens,
man. Huge game this weekend. Yeah, go ahead and kick it off for us, man. And then we'll have some more discussion because, man, I think it could be real ugly for the Bengals if and when they don't pull this thing out. Go ahead. You muted, bro.
You're muted, bro.
Do or die for these guys, and I think one of the things we talked about was, is this a must-win for the Bengals, right? And if they lose this game, are they out of the playoffs? So it's a lot of. I look at the Ravens, and if I had to pick like just some keys to winning Sunday, I say you know pound the football, you know, run Derrick Henry. I like to see the pass game kind of come to life, but if not, then you know you control the game with the run.
Absolutely.
Yeah, control the game with the run, shrink the field.
Yes.
I like to see Nate Wiggins on Chase. Just because I think
that's a bad matchup for a rookie.
Well, if you
gonna put a rookie on
Humphreys, and I know Marlon has been, you know, he hasn't given up a pass over 15 yards, something like that, right? Yeah, you put him on there, but I just every time, man, number, and so I like
you
to
got
see
safety help over the top of Kyle Hamilton too, so you know.
Yeah, but not all the time. Not all the time, man. Like
no, not all the time.
I always go back to that game maybe 2 years ago now. I think it's 2 years. Where the Cincinnati Bengals they came out, they was healthy, they was clicking on every cylinders, and they put the Ravens away in three quarters.
Yeah.
It was terrible, man, because it was
boy
like
would never let that game go.
No.
Jesus
But we all
Christ.
have games like that, you know.
That's burnt in
Yeah,
his brain.
I couldn't, bro. Like, man, listen. I'll be honest with you. I'm sitting there and the cheerleader throwing the cheerleader in the air. So I'm at like the 100 level, right? While the cheerleaders go in the air, score a touchdown. They go back in the air, they score another goddamn touchdown. I'm like, this mind is going on right now, bro. It was bad, man. It was pretty
Stop
bad.
throwing them in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was actually back from when Lamar did that spin move on him. And that Michael Vick, it was more like a Madden spin move or something.
Oh yeah, they called it the B button.
B button. Yeah, right.
B button. Yep.
B button.
Yeah, that spin move was crazy. That's a video game move. It was crazy. But back to the keys to victory. I think running the ball, utilizing Derrick Henry to kind of shrink the field for us on those key third and shorts. We need to execute on those. That's going to be a big play if we can't get those third and shorts, which we shouldn't have problems with. We talk about Todd Monken and his sometimes he go off the rails with his play calling.
Yeah.
So, but I think we're gonna see a different team as we continue to dominate. Like just looking at last year, how Lamar was able to attain the MVP once they got the rolling. It was a wrap for every major quarterback that he had to see. Like I think he takes that personal. And so for the Bengals, I don't really know what they're gonna be able to do, bro. Like they just seem like as if they're not in sync. Joe Burrow is, supposed to be top 5 quarterback in the league. I mean, from that draft class, right? He just hasn't been himself lately, and I don't know if it's just confidence.
Crazy part is he's playing well though.
You say he's playing well?
Yeah, he's playing well, but
I don't know. I don't know how he plays well with that record, but I guess playing well and winning games is two different things. But I don't know, man. I don't really know when it comes to the Bengals. I feel like we're gonna beat them by 14. I picked the Ravens, of course. I think everybody picked the Ravens on this panel.
Yeah.
And so, I don't really need to go into any further detail because at 1:00 tomorrow we're gonna see the fireworks. So, and I heard that they was
get thrown in there.
They was trying to flex the game to like 8:00 Sunday night, 8 or something. I think that was that game, but CBS and one do it. So
you can't flex that because nobody's gonna give up. NBC is not gonna give up the Cowboys. So
bigger market, absolutely not.
Yeah. Joe Burrow he's currently 8th in the league in passing. So he's completing 71%. He's just under 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns, 1 pick. Like he's playing well. Now at the same time, got to figure out how to win, right? You got to win these games, but not always his fault either. The defense doesn't show up, etc. But again, the quarterback gets credit for the wins. You got to get credit for them losses too. So, Transformer, you want to go ahead before I?
Just reiterating on a piece that I gave on Wednesday. It is do or die for the Bengals, but right now it's do what you can. Honestly, the Ravens. I think Todd has it finally figured it out. I'm a very advocate of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Todd, it ain't broke. It ain't broke. It's not broken. All right. So don't try to fix it. Don't try to be cute. Don't do too much. Don't make Lamar all of a sudden throw the ball 25, 30 times. All right. Keep it on the floor. Keep it on the ground. Keep it on the ground. Play action pass. Then you can put it in the air, taking everything off the top.
Did you see how easily Lamar was throwing that thing last week?
Yeah.
Because Derrick Henry loosened him up early. Pause. So he did that, and it made everything else easy. I don't get how Todd Monken is a national championship OC. He's a former professional OC, and now he's a professional OC again. I don't get why or how he doesn't understand that. It seemed like a simple concept to me.
No, and it's that simple, especially against a Bengals defense who just truly isn't good. I believe they're bottom 25 in the league. Under 25 in the league as far as depth rate. But if it ain't broke, gonna fix it, man. I think the Ravens right now, they're on a roll. Right now, they have their next game following that will be against Washington, Jaden Daniels. So I think they not necessarily need to look at the next game, but this is a game where you kind of just putting an extra stamp on the fact that you guys got it figured out and we're the best run team in football. And honestly, Bengals, you just pray to keep it close. You pray to try to keep it close. The only thing about you don't want to go down too big, because if you go down early, they're just going to run the air out of that football. And it's over, and it's going to be over for you. So, I think it's a sound win for the Ravens, honestly.
Yeah. The only thing I'll say is that because this is an AFC North game, you got to punch him in the mouth early.
Like, yes.
You got to put him away early. We can't have Joe Burrow coming in and
no, you can't have him get hot. No, you cannot.
If he comes to get hot, you got a different problem.
Yes.
Yeah, they got to win last year, so maybe they went to therapy.
right. No, it's tough when you look at this, because you say, okay, let's say Cincinnati loses this game, which we all picked them to do. It's like, okay, now they're 1-4 on the year, and their chances of making the playoffs are almost impossible. And I have some interesting stats on that I'm going to play for you in a minute. But let's see. After the Ravens, their slate is not terrible, because they have the Giants, the Browns, the Eagles, the Raiders, Ravens again, Chargers. So really, they can go 3-3 in that next one.
3-3, yeah.
Right. So if you say, okay, just hypothetically, obviously we all pick the Ravens, but let's say hypothetically they pull that off. Now they're suddenly 2-3, right? Okay, you're alive a little bit. And you go 3-3 the rest of the way. Where does that put you at? 5-3? Like, you're in a decent spot to try and finish out the season. So they know how badly they needed this. They need this win. And I think they're going to come out ready for it. But to G's point, if the Ravens come out super physical, like they're capable of doing, and I know G knows this. I don't know if you know this, Transformer. The Ravens are number 1 in the league in total offense. You wouldn't think so, but they are. And they're averaging almost 27 a game. So, like, when they get going, you know what I'm saying?
No, absolutely. I mean, I think I made that commentary last week. I mean, the amount of points that they're scoring per game, that's like they're getting the ball down the field.
Correct. Correct. Yeah. So here's some comments from First Take. I think yesterday, Stephen A. and Chris Canty were discussing this game and talking about Joe Burrow, because Chris Canty, he's been hard on Joe Burrow maybe for the last couple of years now, basically, in terms of Joe Burrow's lack of health and him saying that he thinks that Joe Burrow is living too long off of that Super Bowl appearance, which of course they didn't win. Now, if they had won, all right, cool, but they didn't. So, and obviously Chris Canty, he's a champion, so he can speak to that. But I thought it was interesting what they had to say, and the stats that Stephen A. ended up giving in this, I thought was very good. And I'll come back and say why I thought that was interesting.
In his 4 seasons in the National Football League, he's been hurt twice. The two seasons he wasn't hurt, both times he was in an AFC Championship game. One time he beat Patrick Mahomes to get to a Super Bowl. And we understand that the brother's big-time national champion at LSU. You outplayed Trevor Lawrence, which ain't saying much these days right now, the way Trevor Lawrence been looking at Jacksonville. He's got to get that back together. But in the end, when I'm looking at Joe Burrow, I'm just looking at him and that offense getting better. I'm looking at Higgins back. I'm looking at Jamar Chase playing with a $50 million insurance policy because he didn't get his bag yet. And then for them to go out there with that level of adversity, watching the offense last week, yes, it was against Carolina. I got to take that into consideration. But in the end, I'm just looking at Cincinnati and what I've known them to be when Joe Burrow is behind center. And when the season wanes, he's giving no one a reason not to believe in what he brings to the table. There's no reason. If you want to have distrust for Joe Burrow, it needs to be in the month of September. As the season wanes, November, December, that's not a reason to distrust this man. He shows up when it counts. That's his reputation. That's his MO. That's his resume.
Yeah, that's great, Stephen A., but you still can't explain away the 0-3 start and then them getting their first win against a team that benched their starting quarterback after week 2. I mean, that's on the board. Now, there's only been one team since 2000s to make the playoff starting out 0-3, and that was the 2018 Houston Texans, and you can understand that because Deshaun Watson was coming off of a knee reconstruction. There have been, 3 teams that have made the playoffs since we expanded to a 17-game regular season, and out of 25 teams that have started out 1-3, and that was the 2021 Steelers, Eagles, and Patriots. 2 of those teams had quarterbacks that were first-time starters, and then you had a 39-year-old Ben Roethlisberger in his final season of his career. So you can understand the slow start there. What nobody can do is explain why the Cincinnati Bengals got out to a slow start this year. I get that you bring up the years past, but Joe Burrow was hurt in training camp, didn't play in preseason games in years past. He did both of those this year. He had Jamar Chase on the field week 1, and they still lost to the New England Patriots. They had a must-win game 2 weeks ago against the Washington Commanders at home and lost, where Joe Burrow got outplayed by a rookie quarterback. Now, I get it, defense optional in that game, but the red zone was the key difference, and Jaden Daniels was better in the red zone than Joe Burrow. So all of these reasons why you keep talking about the Cincinnati Bengals being able to pull out of this nosedive just don't pass the smell test to me, because I told you last year when they started 1-3, their season was over with. You didn't listen then, and you're not listening now.
1 pick in 134 attempts this season. That's number 1. Number 2. This is Joe Burrow's record month by month in his career. 7-10-1 in the month of September. 8-8 in the month of October. 7-5 in the month of November. 6-2 in the month of December. 7-2 in the month of January, including 5-2 in the postseason. So when we ask the question, do you trust Joe Burrow to turn the season around? Do you trust Joe Burrow, that person? What it shows is that as the season wanes, he elevates. He elevates.
Those are crazy numbers, right? In terms of for most teams, if they go down, what is it, 1-4 after losing this week, it's pretty much a wrap for their season. But that just shows you can't. If Joe Burrow is healthy, you can't count those guys out. G, what were your thoughts on those numbers that Stephen A. just gave us?
I don't really have any feedback on those numbers because we haven't seen him play last year. Played half a season. This is a new season, right? And so far, he's 1-3 right now.
1-3. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, and so I try to stay away from stats like that because the game changes every year. There's bigger, faster, more intelligent players on the field than it was last year. Defensive coordinators start to get better. Like once they got tape on you, that's a wrap. We didn't see him last year, so the little bit of games that he did play, that's all we can go off of, right? We can't really say that like last year they would have did anything. His body of work speaks for itself. He's Joe Burrow, right? It's Joe Burrow. We agree that he's top 5 out of that draft class. I mean, and probably like top 10 quarterback in the league right now.
Yeah, I'd say that.
Yeah, I mean, even with him not playing last year, we still believe and everybody's going to hold him to a certain account. Now, Mr. Cass had it when he said, "Hey, listen, man, like that ship sailed, right? Like, what have you done for me lately?" And I know that, like, you got wide receivers that don't have contracts, want to franchise. What is the reason why the ownership isn't making a deal with these guys, right? Like, that's the last thing you want to do is be making a playoff run and your guys aren't paid, right? Or they don't feel valued. And so that could be one of those things that disrupt. But just based off what he said, I thought those numbers was crazy. But I'm sure if you look at a lot of players, that's kind of how it goes as the season go along. Sometimes you get easier games. We don't know what games he played. He didn't go into detail on and who he was playing. I think this was like last year was like the first year we saw a lot of like interconference play towards the end of the season. And so I think this year is the same thing as well. There'll be a lot of like the bulk of your conference games, the AFC North, is played at the end of the season versus the middle of the season. So if he playing out of conference teams and he's losing early on in the season, like, I mean, I don't know, bro. Like, I don't really know what you want me to say here. It's like guy using a stat master. He's just bringing the stats. He bringing the stats, and we play week to week. Players play week to week. They're not paying attention to that. But yeah, I think there's no question that he's not. He's not one of those guys, right? There's no question that he's not one of those guys. We wouldn't even be talking about it right now. It'd be like, oh yeah, we're gonna steamroll these guys. But we did make that caveat, like, hey, if this dude get hot, we got to punch him in the mouth first. Because if this dude get hot, then it's gonna be a dogfight, and that ain't what we want. Not saying it's gonna happen, but
I got you.
Any given Sunday, or Monday or Thursday nowadays. So,
right.
Occasional Saturday, sure.
Yes, yeah. Later on in the season. But yeah, he's that guy.
Transformer, how'd you take what Stephen A. and Canty had to say?
I mean, Stephen A was pretty accurate, right? Joe Burrow does show up, right? I'm not finna sit here at all and I'm gonna put this 1-3 record on Joe Burrow's shoulders. I'm not, right? Game 1, yeah, okay, Rusty, you coming back. I look at game 2, right? You're playing against the Kansas City Chiefs. He had the lead before Patrick Mahomes got the ball.
There you go.
He had the lead. So who lost the game? Did Joe Burrow lose the game or did the defense lose the game? All right, let's go on to week 3. He comes out, scores immediately. I think he scored in the first 2 or 3 possessions. What was the score of that game? 38-33. So Joe Burrow, I scored 33 points. My defense got 38 hung on him. Like, what else do you want me to do? And then, you finally get the win against Carolina. I look at this right here. Offensive ranking, they're 9th in points, 12th in yards. Defensive ranking, 27th in points, 15th in yards.
Right.
Defense. Can my defense do something for me?
Pick your game up.
Pick my game up. Like,
we can't make no excuses.
I can't blame him for when I'm losing a game and I don't have the ball in my hands.
Yeah,
now, if I lose the game, then that's different. So I'm not gonna. I'm a big guy and saying
he has 1 turnover
in
so
the
far
game.
this season,
Yeah, if my numbers look good, and if I left the last time you saw me on the field, I had the lead. I got us here, right?
Yes.
And my defense constantly just gives it up, and they give up 38 points the next game. What more do you want me to do, right? So I'm not going to just predicate that all being on him, man.
It's the same thing with that. It's the same thing with that. He has a lot of empty calories.
No, see, Dak's different. I'm not for them.
No, that's not
play that ball game.
Dak
beat down 28 points. Then all of a sudden, now he wants to add up. Joe Burrow literally comes in a game and he's keeping it competitive and he leaves the game with the lead. Dak's not leaving the game with the lead.
Yeah. That's the same thing I was saying about when people talk about Brock Purdy, and I'm like, Brock Purdy left the Super Bowl with the lead. He got off the field. This team was winning. That's not his fault. But at the same time, what happens is this: when you are making $250 million and you're the golden boy, you're that guy,
and you got one of the best receiving core in the league.
Yeah, you would get the credit for the win, so you have to take the hit for the loss. I see both sides.
That's what they told Lamar, you got to score more points.
Listen, I see both sides of it. I got both. I see both sides of it. So, this is I definitely think it's a must win for the Bengals. Unfortunately, they won't, but I do think it's a must win situation. But with that said, just hearing what we heard about how Joe Burrow continues to raise his level of play as the season progresses, it's hard to say you can really count those dudes out. But at the same time, and this is Canty's argument, how long can he continue to live on that Super Bowl appearance? 3 years ago now?
2022.
Right. So,
it is the following season is when he got hurt, and then now we're on this season. Last season, he got hurt.
Yeah.
Oh, but no, since the Super Bowl has been 3 years. I'm sorry. Super Bowl was 2021.
That's right. Okay,
he made it to the conference championship the following season.
Right.
And he lost against Patrick Mahomes, and then the injury, and then now we're here.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
All right, gentlemen. Well, that's all we got, man. That is what we got for tonight. For those of y'all who made it through, stayed with us all the way. I know that WNBA topic, I was talking a lot and I really got into a lot of stuff, but I appreciate y'all sticking with me and listening to what I had to say and allowing me to vent. And hopefully you took something from that, whether you agree or not. Hopefully you did. I appreciate y'all fellas, of course, for being here with me.
Absolutely.
If you haven't already, man, make sure you hit that like and subscribe and that share on the way out. Appreciate y'all. And what's today? Today's Saturday, right? Yes,
today's Saturday. So we'll be on tomorrow night.
Yes. So we'll be back with y'all tomorrow night for the conclusion of we'll be back with y'all tomorrow night for well, not the conclusion.
Well, not conclusion, but the end of Sunday night's games.
Yeah, the end of Sunday night's game to do the Sunday wrap. So that should be fun. But I guess that's about it. All right, y'all. We out.
Well, before we leave, man, we can't, not give you a round of applause, man. Shout out to Bruce, his therapeutic session. You know what I mean? He passed with flying colors. Like you said, team, this is more than sports. This is more than podcasts. Sometimes you just got to air it out. You got to release your demons, release with the thoughts in your brain. Just let it go. As you saw, Bruce came on this thing looking like Brock Lesnar. You know what I mean? Now he's relaxed. looking like he's ready to go sip a Mai Tai on the Miami Beach. So
shout
out Bruce, man, the therapeutic session, guys.
Oh, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's good. I love this show, man. I love this show. Like, I just want y'all to know, man, Transformer and G, y'all know this already, man. This is like, it's a lot of work for me, but this is something like I love doing. Like, this is a real thing for me, and I'm trying to make it into something, and I love doing it. And, that's why I always ask for, you guys' help, you being the viewers and the listeners, to help me make this thing grow, man. So for those of y'all who are consistently here, again, I appreciate you. So I'm going to stop yapping now, and we're going to go ahead and let y'all get out of here and go continue to watch college football or whatever it is y'all want to do, man. Y'all have a good night.
Yes, sir.
And we will see you tomorrow night as we wrap up the NFL Sunday. And we out. Peace. Man, go ahead. Click the thing, man.
I'm already on. Oh, I'm on the wrong computer. First of all.
Click the button, man.